Yes, sir. We're officially back
We're
at
live.
it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the ACBA podcast. This is episode 11. We got our regular crew in today, minus Rick. He should be here shortly, actually, but Colonel Crackers, Emiya Starlock, Pharaoh Black, myself, Boog, and Rick Dom will be in here shortly. We got quite a few surprises tonight, I believe. Talking about a few things. A lot of things dropped this past week. A lot of purchases made. So I guess I'll start off with what I got. I got quite a few things, or I purchased quite a few things. I didn't get everything, but speaking of Rick, he sent me the three SH Figure Arts First Order Stormtroopers, so I got those in. Really happy about that.
Pharaoh.
I got what else did I get this week? Oh, I got the Obi-Wan, the SH Figure Arts Obi-Wan Episode 1 Obi-Wan, which I think is tough. I think that figure is really, really nice. It came out real clean. I like pretty much everything about the figure, the way it moves, the interchangeable heads, everything is really, really clean on that figure. I was happy with that purchase. I sent my man Emiya a lot of in-house purchases here, but I sent my man Emiya the money finally for these Figma horses. So I did that. I actually sent Billy some money for some repairs or some things that he did for me, and it was so long ago that I don't even remember what all the stuff was. I know that he had like lightly touched up one of my Agent Venom figures and added like the pouch and a revolver and some different things on that. So I'm happy to get that next week. What else? I sent my man Brandosaurus Rex some money for some extra chameleon bodies. And Pharaoh sending me some stuff. I forgot what you got for me. A Ray and Sharon Carter from the Cap Wave.
That and then the fucking the Darth Vader with the.
Oh right.
Shit,
The Walmart exclusive Darth Vader. That's got the
Walgreens.
Walgreens. Excuse me. That's got the lit up helmet, and a lot of people are painting that helmet because it looks better than a regular version once it's painted. I've seen quite a few people do that, so looking forward to doing that. And I think that's it. I still got to cop the next two Legends waves that's dropped, but I'm pretty sure my man Pharaoh's got those, so he'll talk about that. But that's all I got this week.
I got the Obi-Wan Figure Arts Bruce Lee will be here tomorrow. I got the Captain America wave of figures. I paid Emiya finally for King Cosmo that I've been working on buying from him for how long has it been? Like a year?
2 years. 2 years.
Grabbed that. Like I said,
Actually, I think it might be more than 2 years. But,
it might be because I've been wanting to figure, man. Just
3 years.
You know,
I think it's since when I first met you, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm saying it happened though, right?
It happened, yeah. It happened.
Okay.
I mean, that's the beauty of getting something from a friend, though, because you know they're gonna hold it down for you as long as it takes. They'll hold it down for you, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely, because he got to sending me memes and shit with King Cosmo and all type of shit. So I was like, man, let me go and get this man his money. But I went ahead and snatched the Scar Predator from the Alien vs. Predator line. I didn't have that one. I went ahead and snatched that one up.
Wait, is that the new line that just came out?
Yeah.
The AVP ones.
You know what? I seen my man Toy Addict review those figures. And
They're worth buying.
Yeah, they're actually pretty fucking nice. I mean, you was talking about them a couple of weeks ago. First of all, they're fucking massive.
Oh yeah.
But they look nice. I've never bought in any of those NECA Alien or Predator figures. None of them.
I mean,
there's a good jumping on point for sure.
They were all okay, but when you what you do is, man, before you buy them, go ahead and just watch the first Alien vs. Predator, and because you know I heard a couple people say they were a little bit too big, but yeah, that's pretty much how it was. I mean, you know, the scale really changes though with those Predators.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not that tall, standing next to Sinai, and then sometimes they're like just fucking huge. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's
for the most
big
part,
thing about these Predators, though, is that they kind of redesigned them. Like in the movie, if you look at them, they look like fucking linebackers.
Yeah, I
They're
just
massive.
came in on me because this guy do with NECA. If this was some Marvel Legends shit, he'd be over there shutting the fuck up. Don't come in. Go ahead, man. Go and explain it, man.
All right. Well, I mean, the original Predators were all these like athletic, you know, tall, kind of slimy creatures. But in Alien vs. Predator, they redesigned them and they look like, you know, football linebackers with shoulder pads and big ass thighs and everything. But NECA went ahead and kind of like slimmed down that design a little bit too. So the AVP figures aren't even as like thick as they looked in the movie, which is kind of better because I never really liked the big kind of like doughy look to those Predators in the movie. But
I mean,
the
honestly,
came out way better.
Honestly, with no like humanoid or no human character to pit them up against or compare them against, I mean, who could really say what the scale is? You know what I'm saying? Really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the first Predators you had Dutch. Second Predator you still had whatever Danny Glover's fucking character name was. And I mean, even with the figures though, I mean, to a Marvel Legend, man, I mean, they're standing way taller than a Marvel Legend.
Yeah, like 9.5 inches tall. They're huge.
I mean,
they're about the price of a Marvel Legend and accessories.
It's that thing with NECA, like I was saying before. It's a lot. You know, you're getting a lot for your money. It's a lot of fucking plastic there. It's a lot of shit there for $22, whatever.
I want to throw out quickly for everybody who doesn't have the Captain America figures, man. If you're thinking about doing the Steve Rogers head swap, you're gonna have to Dremel that head out because it sits pretty high up on the neck. Also, if you have a Vision, especially the clear Vision from the 3 pack, you can paint the cape white. You pretty much can throw the cape onto the Taskmaster figure so you can have the hood on them and shit. So when y'all do that shit, just know that y'all doing a Pharaoh mod. Did nobody else do that shit? So if you don't like me, it don't matter. I'm in your collection right as of now if you're doing that shit. But pretty much, man, it's a solid wave, man. It's I think probably the weakest figure is Cottonmouth, and he's still a nice figure. I mean, but without the rest of the serpent.
Right. Yeah, it's just stupid.
It's kind of he's just off to the side and shit, but. It's a solid wave, man. Like, definitely, if you see it, I recommend picking it up.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if at some point we get a box set with the rest of the Serpent Society. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
That'll work out, though, because I don't really see them doing well on their own. I guess they could slide one in every wave or, you know, every so often or whatever, but I'm glad that...
like an SDCC box set or something.
No, I don't think they're popular enough for SDCC, honestly, but... I think that if they did
box sets, though, they could always squeeze like 1 or 2 in. I guess it would just depend on the theme.
If they gave it to Entertainment Earth again and did an Entertainment Earth exclusive, I think it would do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I'm happy. I'm just happy to have fucking Whirlwind, man. Like,
yeah, that's classic.
The rest of the Masters of Evil, whatever. And you know what? The fucking Whirlwind is so streamlined, man. He's not too big. He's not too. Dude, it's like a really great sculpt. Even it's like a separate mask over the face, and like with Mockingbird, you can take your glasses off and shit. I mean, it was. Oh, and for you, Boog, because I know you were talking about the body for the females, they actually have almost, I want to say, 20% more ab crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can really bend them forward and backwards. I don't have one in here with me now, but. It's better than the fucking that mold they've been using. So.
All right, well that's good to hear. What about well, I guess we already talked about the Spidey wave. The Cap wave just dropped this weekend, basically at retail. All right, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that Captain America.
Yeah, I think yeah, like I said, Cottonmouth was the weakest of the wave.
Oh, wait a minute, you didn't?
Probably Sharon Carter.
You didn't build the Onslaught yet?
Oh yeah, hey, listen, man, that figure. Now, naturally, because of the fucking shoulder pads, he can't raise his arms over his head, but he can get his arms up to about right there. But man, it's nice. Even for that red molded plastic, man, that shit's nice. The paint in the legs, the purple pops, everything is nice. And the Red Skull head sculpt is like really dope.
So
yeah, Rich Sinestro just did a really good shot with that.
Yeah, I saw Sinestro's post up on Instagram. The figure looks nice.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better builder figures that Hasbro's done easily. Once you get the Magneto head, I mean.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We got to get that Magneto head to really, really make it complete.
Only thing about the, well, I guess it was like 90s costumes when that Onslaught was facing off against the X-Men and shit, right? Mm-hmm. Only one that looked kind of weirdly different was Wolverine during that time, right? Everybody else had costumes that we've got in figure form, right? I gotta look that up.
Which costume was Wolverine wearing? What do you mean? We got the.
He was like, he had some like onslaught, unleashed thing. You remember from the '90s figures when they had that Wolverine when he had the like he had like the do rag
Oh yeah,
Yeah, with the black beater and shit.
with the beater and shit,
Yeah.
and this is when he
Or
had the
white beater,
bone claw.
whatever.
He
you
had
talking
the
about
bone claw.
Patch?
It wasn't patched though. Nah, he had bone claws. This was like before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's
As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, somebody, whoever's listening in the comments, if you know, I believe that this is right before Magneto had removed his adamantium, and this was leading up to that whole event and shit. So
Yeah, you won't get me. That's one figure that they better put a piece in it quick, because I won't buy that fucking figure. I have no need for it, or do I want?
I mean, the '90s figure was fucking horrible, even for '90s figures, like you know what I'm saying.
But yeah, I just got those Cap Legends too, but only 3 of them. I got the Cottonmouth, and I got Sharon Carter, and I got Cap earlier today at True. They're pretty good. I mean, yeah, you guys pretty much covered it. It's a solid wave. I'm
looking forward to that Mockingbird though, even though I don't like her character in the comic books. It's an essential character to
absolutely
completing a lot of teams and a lot of modern stuff that's happened over the past couple of years.
Why don't you like?
I'm telling you, she has the
I don't
D-pads.
like that they even brought her back for one, and two, I've never been a fan of I've never been a big fan of non-powered heroes, other than maybe Batman and like a few others, like you know what I'm saying. But like,
I thought Hawkeye was your favorite though. Come on.
I fucking hate Hawkeye. I never liked Hawkeye. I never liked Hawkeye. I never liked Mockingbird. I just feel like and like any serious situation, they be dead in 5 minutes. I don't give a fuck what level of athlete you are. If somebody who could lift a car punch you in the chest, it's over. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Hey man, listen. The figure.
How about fighting skills?
I mean, fighting skills is all fine and dandy on some street level shit, but like if you fight an onslaught, that shit ain't gonna do nothing.
Right. I know what you're saying. Well, a lot of this shit is new mode. The knee pads, the shin guards, all that shit. Like I said, it's not like it's like a hell of a range,
but it's better. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, she definitely can bend down a lot more than she.
What's the head articulation like? Not that good.
You say what?
What's the head articulation like?
It's on a ball peg, but it's also on the joint. So you pretty much can bend it down.
Well, that's a good range.
The one thing though, be careful when you bend it down, because naturally you're gonna stretch your hair out. And the glasses, they actually fit between these slots. I don't know if you can see them, but there's these slots on the head.
I see it. Yeah.
And
see that eye walk too.
Yeah, that eyes a little wonky.
The eyes are fucked up, but I'm going to send mine out and get my eyes fixed. I'm not even worried about this chick's eyes.
You know who's doing good work aside from our boy Wisman and Dave Castle and shit. The kid Monster Mash on Instagram. He's doing good work on repaints of head sculpts and shit like that.
I mean, the glass is hiding a little bit, so.
Yeah,
she's prettier than the bitch that plays her on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Jesus,
the toothy chick, as you said.
What?
The toothy chick.
Stupid.
Yeah, she's getting her own spin-off though. They just announced it a couple weeks ago. She and that British dude, who cares what his name is. The actor's name is cooler than the character's name, actually. But yeah, they're getting a spin-off now.
I just know her from she's married to the tall dude Sam from Supernatural.
Okay. Well, yeah, she was gonna be Wonder Woman too in the failed pilot.
And that chick, she has the ugliest set of I don't know that whole. That's just the look. She's always like this. I don't know.
Well, moving on to my haul real quick. Like I said, I got those Cap Legends, 3 out of 7. I'm late on the train on this one, but I got Mezco Batman this past Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Man, what a good figure! Holy shit!
Right.
I actually got it at Comic Bug after we finished setting up their store displays.
Oh, okay.
Give me a healthy little discount on it for the hard work, and man, I fucking love that Batman, dude. I could not stop posing it for like 3 days straight. I mean, now it's just sitting on my shelf, whatever, but I take it down, and I can't help but fuck with it. It's so good.
The displays at Comic Bug came out real nice, man. So shout out to you, and shout out to Henry Beltran and Adrian Beltran and all the work that you guys put in over there. They came out nice. We're going to actually post them up on the some pictures of them up on the ACBA Instagram probably after this, but the displays came out real nice. I'm sure it's getting a lot of attention in the store.
Yeah, we put some flyers out by it, our business cards, and then I dropped off a calendar for them to hang up in their store. So they're going to have a whole little ACBA section there, getting a lot of love. So that's really exciting. We're doing their Deadpool displays too for the movie theater when the movie
when's
comes
Deadpool
out.
dropping again? The 12th?
The 12th, yeah. So we should be out there next Sunday putting up the displays. We were going to go do it this Sunday, but corporate movie theaters have this whole thing about floor plans and whatever. Where's the display going to go? So we had to push it back another week, but that's fine because I get to be here and talk to you guys. Other than that, that Mezco Batman's fucking great. And then this isn't really a new figure, but I mentioned a few weeks ago when I opened up those Home Alone figures that my Marv broke at the neck peg. So I went to True yesterday, and they got another shipment of them. So I bought another Marv and then returned the one that broke on me and got my money back.
Nice.
Because, why not? So now I got the full set fine. Other than that, like I said, just got the calendar, which came out really nice. Really excited to be featured on that. Lots of other really good people on there. And not really a figure or whatever, but I got a bookshelf for my room so I could put up some of my box figures in there. Like the video game NECA figures, I put those in there in a nice row, and now I've got my top shelf in my closet all cleared up, so I'm finally going to unbox all my Legends and put them out in a nice display.
I bet you keep them bullshit NECA figures in the box, because them bitches going to break.
Well, I've opened all of them and posed them before I put them back, so I had to make sure that they weren't going to break before I kept them, because otherwise I would have returned them immediately. But yeah, they look real nice. I like keeping them in box, especially now that they're on the bookshelf at kind of eye level. If I have a guest over or whatever, I can just hey, pick one, open it up. They can kind of just enjoy it like that without having to pose it or whatever. That's about it for me. I mean, I haven't really been buying too much, just kind of saving money because those Hateful Eight figures are about to set me back like $200.
Why though? Why do you want those?
Because they're fucking sick and the movie was awesome.
I just watched the movie the other day, and for anybody that wants to watch movies, DVD quality for free, go to movienight.com, go down to the link that says no bullshit, click that link, you can watch anything you want. It's shit.
The link actually says no bullshit.
Right, that's what it says, no bullshit. Click that link. I just watched The Hateful Eight. I mean, it was alright. I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but I don't see what was really good about the movie. It was just a bunch of fucking dialogue.
That's because you're not a film student.
It was very good, man. I mean, don't get it confused. That's Quentin Tarantino for you. It's gonna be a bunch of dialogue and shit.
No,
but
I'm just saying, but didn't I mean? All right, I mean, y'all like
Tarantino. It's lots of dialogue, lots of dialogue, gratuitous violence, and lots of use of the N-word.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I thought it was brilliant, man. I thought it was a real good flick.
I don't know.
Especially if you see it on the big screen and
it was very
70mm glory. It's beautiful.
It was very predictable. I mean, it was a couple twists in there, but for the most part, it was really predictable.
It was decently executed. I'm a film student as well. I don't think it was the best movie I saw this year, but it was a good movie. It was solid. I mean, Tarantino, I don't think any of his movies, in my opinion, are incredible on all accounts. But I mean,
I agree.
His stuff is usually pretty solid.
I'm not saying this as the biggest Tarantino fan on the planet. I mean, I like Pulp Fiction. I like Inglourious Basterds to a certain degree, and I like Jackie Brown. And yeah, I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan. He does have really good movies for the most part, but I'm not saying this. I think
all his stuff is solid.
Jackie Brown is one of my favorites, though.
Jackie Brown is the shit.
Just everything about Jackie Brown was very, very well done. The music, the fucking everything, man. Samuel Jackson's character in that flick was just phenomenal, man.
I mean, Sam Jackson's best movie is still Coming to America.
Samuel Jackson's performance in the Hateful Eight was good.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. I just didn't see where it was I sat through it and listened to it. The dialogue was good, and they argued enough.
You don't have to justify why you don't think it's an incredible movie ever. It just everyone's taste is different. Like I said, I'm also a film guy, and it wasn't my favorite movie this year, but I mean it's very solid. It was entertaining. I mean, it's a Tarantino film. And being that it's his newest one, his movies get more polished as they go on. So,
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what was fucking awful though. When I finally, well, I tried to watch. I haven't even been able to sit through the whole thing. Chirac, that shit was fucking horrible, man.
Yeah, I didn't even attempt to watch Chirac, man.
Yeah, I try to give it a chance just for, for the art of it and shit. I feel like sometimes, you know, especially black people, we don't give certain shit a shot sometimes. I could say I'm fucking black. I could say that, but I try to give it a shot just for the artistic feel of it to see if it really had like a certain message, similar to like I don't know if you ever saw Bamboozle, but Spike Lee put that out some years ago, and that was sort of like in the same vein where it was sort of comical, but it had like a real serious message to it. And this it was just not good, man. It was just fucking bad, yo. It was just not good, man. And I talked about this as my one of my movie trailer things when I was on the Two's Company Three's a podcast, and I said that I would see it in the theater and shit. I obviously never got around to seeing it in theater. I watched it on Plex, and I still haven't been able to sit through the whole thing, man. It's that bad. Like, it's just, man, he just screwed up on so many levels. He should have got like some of the like Chicago rappers and shit to be in the movie. He should have had one of those popular rappers as the lead role, like Lil Durk or somebody like that. It was just, having Nick Cannon in that lead role was just fucking retarded, man. So yeah, moving on. What else were you talking about? Emiya, what you got this week?
All the Bluefin stuff from this month arrived for me. Basically, I got a bunch of Vegetas, some King Ghidras, some Kakashis.
When you say Vegetas, you talking about the premium color one?
Yeah, the U.S. stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like a case of them. So.
Oh well, I might as well buy one from you.
Right. What's the deal?
I got like a couple of King Ghidras.
You the dope man right now. What's up?
Dozen Kakashis. I got the Figure Art Zero EX, the Super Saiyan Trunks. The Metal Build Strike Freedom. I got a few of those. The U.S. stock. The Saint Seiya, the Saint Cloth Myth EX, God Cloth, Virgo Shaka. I got like a few of those. Sailor Pluto. All that stuff. That stuff all arrived. So. That's basically what I got this week. I mean, I probably would have gotten some other stuff over the weekend, but we're all snowed in, and I don't think the USPS is delivering anything. So
yeah, they wasn't doing nothing on Saturday, as far as I know.
I got Sunday mail today, man. I looked up, I got my ACBA calendar and 3 fucking bills. Because I was telling Boog, I'm like, I ain't get the calendar or whatever. And the mail, the mail came yesterday, so I got the mail from yesterday, and I come in this morning for Denny's and shit and look up, and I got fucking mail. I'm like, and then they took the calendar and bent it. That's what really pissed me off, though. But it was good that they didn't bend it and crease it. They
rolled it.
Yeah, they kind of rolled it and stuck it into the mail.
So you just have to put something heavy on top of it for a couple of days, and you'll be good.
Yeah, that's got to be company policy to fuck with people's calendars, because they did the same thing to me.
What saved it was Boog's cheap ass stuffed it into the tightest fucking Ziploc bag ever. this thing was in that damn thing like a fucking owl.
You should offer collector's grade. Like, put that shit in the box, charge like $5.
Hey, it came out crispy though, man. I mean, I opened it up.
And then you can sign it too, Luke. You can sign it too. I'll sign it. I'll put it in the box. $5 more.
Man, if y'all listening to this, man, and you didn't get a calendar yet, you definitely need to jump on it. They came out really, really nice. It is sort of like a collector's item, man. I mean, if it's somebody who you're a fan of and shit, like, you see them at the con and shit, have them sign the shit. And I don't know, like, celebrity status shit, like, whatever. We ain't nobody, but still, like, it's still a fun.
Yeah, but we're people just like you, on the grind. You should support people just like you support those celebrities you don't know shit about.
Man, speak for yourself. I'm a fucking god.
Inspiration.
No. You see the picture Emiya got with the fucking
with the headdress.
Man, that speaking of which, I have some more. I've been working on special, special new stuff that I'm gonna show you guys later. You guys gonna love it. I got a special request even from the Fabios and the Ponchos. I even did those.
Yes, sir. I can't wait to have my Scorpion King body. I want like my torso and my head still me, but I gotta have that CGI Scorpion lower body. And it's gotta be early 2000s
That could
CGI.
be
It's gotta
part
look
of the
shitty.
collection. That could be part of the collection. You know, his likeness on a Scorpion Beast body.
Right.
You know.
Let's get you get the Scorpion
I
body,
mean,
the
you're the
ponytail and
Starlock,
shit.
Pharaoh. You and Boog. You guys had the most stuff. It's gonna be pretty good. You'll see it. I'll
We
show
keep
it.
joking about it, but sooner or later it's gonna actually happen, and we're gonna be like making bank off of it. Sell it to the Four Horsemen for the next Gothmetropolis line or something.
So what's the first official topic? What we talking about?
Well, that's a good question. Speaking of good questions,
Rick said the
what are our
topic
thoughts on the
is
Suicide Squad trailer?
Oh, the Suicide. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Kind of a low key dropped actually, but I thought it was yeah. Well, why don't you go first?
I'm not really sure how I felt about it. When I saw the first trailer, I felt very optimistic about the movie and felt like it was going to be interesting. This trailer made me feel like it was a little goofy, like it was a little more silly than I really wanted to be. I kind of wanted to be maybe not dark like Batman, but I wanted to be still pretty raw and still pretty, violent and like I don't know. It was kind of goofy to me in a way. But at the same time, it still seemed more appealing to me than Batman versus Superman, believe it or not. So, I don't know. I'm definitely I'm excited to see the chick Margot. What's her name? Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
Robbie.
Robbie. Yeah.
Robbie. Yeah, I think she's fucking hot. But otherwise than that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't. The more that I see Will Smith and shit, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing in this movie? It's out of place in a way to me. But I don't know. I mean, I guess he was in a superhero flick before. He was in that Hancock shit. But it didn't knock my socks off. But it didn't make me feel like it was gonna be bullshit. Like it was gonna be whack. But I'm kind of indifferent right now. I'm just, I don't know, man. I'm not 100% sure. I'll be there to see it. Probably, I won't be there opening night and shit, but that weekend I'll check it out.
I think that the movie is pretty much like a launching platform for them to spin on off and to make some Batman movies. That's why I mean, that's the only thing I'm really looking at it as, because you bring the Joker into it, you bring Harley into it, you got Killer Croc. You got Dead. So they're all pretty much Batman villains for the most part.
Right.
I mean, Suicide Squad, in my opinion, always it was on that line of being serious and goofy, in my opinion, because you got to look at what the roster is. I mean, just their different personalities and shit. Or if you ever watched Assault on Arkham, the animated movie. You get to see the goofiness with the Suicide Squad, but they're all expendable, and I mean it's going to be a bunch of senseless violence. I can tell you that it's going to be a bunch of explosions and shit crashing through shit for nothing, because they're all reckless when they get together, and I mean I think it might be decent. I mean
it could make a fun flick. Don't get me wrong. It could be fun.
I mean I'm rooting for these movies, man. I think that they're going to be sleeper movies. I think a lot of people are kind of about it, but I think Batman versus Superman and Suicide Squad might be really good. Actually.
I mean, don't get it confused. Freaking Guardians of the Galaxy was really like some sleeper hit shit, really. So this could be that for DC right now. It quite possibly could. Huh?
That's pretty much what they're banking on, is to really launch this as like its own, sort of. It's almost like a buddy comedy action film, and yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not really digging Will Smith in this. He's got that like Welcome to Earth sort of moment where he's like, let's go save the world, They'll honestly probably cut that out of the final film, but it was a good enough trailer that I'm sure it got people excited. I thought it was like well put together. The editing of Bohemian Rhapsody in there, it was pretty fun. It had some like good character moments for each each character, like Captain Boomerang when he's taking that like sip from a flask or whatever. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn when she does that bend down. That was fine. But I think I'm most excited probably just to see the Joker in this, to see like the performance of it. There was like a few glimpses that I saw of it that like, you know, sort of looked really cool, like when he's surrounded by all those knives and weapons and he's, you know, laughing. I thought that was pretty cool. That's really what I'm most excited about for this movie, though. Like Pharaoh said, is just to see like an expansion of the Batman universe, and like they'll probably use this to spin off, you know, further things, and not even just Batman. Fucking Captain Boomerang is a Flash villain, if I'm not mistaken. So
That's true.
boom, there's your Flash backstory right there. It could be a good launching platform as far as like, okay, well, there's all these villains that exist, and the government had to get them together in a team to save this crisis or whatever, and then at the end of it, they all get loose. And now in each superhero movie, we're dealing with the repercussions of, you know, what happens in Suicide Squad. So, you know, it could be cool. And Batman's definitely going to be in it because, you know, Ben Affleck was on set on top of the Joker's car in costume.
Yeah, we saw that months ago.
Exactly. So, you know, it's a for sure thing. We don't know if it's like a flashback or, you know, whatever, but Batman's definitely in this as part of the DC cinematic universe. So, you know, for the same reason we watch the Marvel movies, we've got to see it because we want to see where the universe is taking us and what story they're going to tell with these characters. So, you know, I mean, I'll see it. Probably not opening day. Probably eventually if I get a friend to come watch it with me or whatever.
That Joker, I think he's going to. I don't. Him and Heath Ledger are just two different Jokers. I haven't even seen it, and I can tell that. I mean, but this guy's what's his name? Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yeah.
Or whatever. I think he's going to be really good as a Joker. I think, you know, a lot of people was hard on him or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the more I see, the more fucking crazy he looks, man. Like, you know what I mean?
He's a fantastic actor.
I'm excited. Like you said, I'm excited to see the Joker. I want to see what's going to happen with him.
I think it's an interesting look for sure. I mean, to a point, it also feels like the Amazing Spider-Man reboot, where they like purposely made it way too different from what we know to kind of differentiate it. But you know, it could work. I believe it was Toy Addict on the Two's Company 3's a podcast that said that he's got like a background as a tattoo artist, which is, you know, explains all the tattoos on himself and stuff. Because if you see that one promotional shot that's like, you know, the Killing Joke where he's like holding his head screaming, he's got the one purple glove, which is what tattoo artists use. It's like one of those vinyl spandex gloves or latex gloves, you know, that you use for tattoo artistry. So that kind of makes sense for the character. But yeah, I just want to see like what's different about him, and for sure it's going to be a good performance. I mean, Jared Leto is a fucking great actor. Going back to Fight Club, Dallas Buyers Club, where he plays I believe a transsexual. And
all right, man, enough of this.
He got an Oscar for that.
Emiya, what did you think of the movie? You talking about transsexuals and shit?
What, you mean Dallas Buyers Club?
Nah, man, I'm just fucking. You don't got to give him a hard time, man. I was like,
oh, okay.
Now let's talk about the trailer for Suicide Squad. What'd you think about it?
I mean, when I saw it, I just, you know, it just looks like one of those DC movies. It looks like Batman versus Superman, you know, that type of look. It's dark, and, you know, the characters have been grittied up a bit, and I mean, it looks interesting. I'm not really going to place any kind of judgment on it. It's just not what I do. I mean, I'll just wait till I see the movie. I mean, I'm going to see it. I see everything on midnight showing, so that I'm going to see it in opening night. So, my thing right now is I'm just curious, you know, how well thought out their universe will be. I mean, I was really shocked, and we already saw. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's already been filming. But when they showed those preview clips from Wonder Woman, I was like, wow, it's like they already have like a big chunk of the movie already done.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I was surprised, and I was confused actually. I didn't know if that was legit or not.
No, it was legit. I mean, they're filming the movie right now, so it makes.
You're talking about that DC special, right?
Yeah, but I was shocked that there was already like really good finished footage ready to go. It looked like the movie was pretty much ready to go. At least from those shots.
Ant-Man test footage, though, as far as like, you know, the amount of content that they showed us. It's just, you know, one fight scene. It's probably like a pre-visualization sort of thing. I mean, it looks pretty completed. Definitely more than the Ant-Man footage, but
it looked pretty good. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't show it to us if it didn't look good. So, You know, maybe they were, you know, they've already been working on it for a while, so it looks. I want to see what it will be like. I think Batman versus Superman is going to answer a lot of questions of how, you know, where this universe is going and how the characters are going to be handled and stuff like that. I think as long as that's good, it's going to set a good precedent for something like Suicide Squad. People feel confident going in. Oh man, this is going to be, you know, Batman versus Superman was really good, so this is going to be really good. So. You know, obviously, you know, they're going to be gearing up. They already said before that Batman, I guess due to, you know, some decision making behind the scenes, I remember reading that they were saying that Batman's going to be the center of the universe. That everything's going to be about Batman mostly. And it makes perfect sense. Batman is the #1 character for DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
the massive black hole at the middle of it all.
It makes perfect sense that, you know, that a lot of things will be very centered on Batman. And obviously they love Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's a great actor. So, you know, we're going to see that all set up and see where it goes. So.
And one final thing, it's interesting how they're incorporating, like, the magic and mysticism elements of, you know, some of these characters into it. They're not going, I mean, at least from the trailer.
Yeah, they're not really building it up. They're just kind of doing it all
grounded, you know, like Thor is not a god, he's actually an alien from another dimension, which, you know, it makes sense. I dig that they did that in Marvel. I'm not knocking it. But it's interesting to see how they're going to do it in DC as far as, like, how does this El Diablo guy have these fire powers? How does, what's her name, Katana? What's the girl's name? The one with the mystical sword that, like, absorbs people's souls. And you see it in the trailer, there's like a haze around it with, like, skulls and stuff around her sword.
I don't know the DC characters like that, honestly, but I know
yeah, the chick with the half mask with the red dot on it. I think her name's Katana.
The Kabuki mask.
Yeah, the Kabuki mask. And she has, I think her name is Katana. I'm just going to say her name is Katana.
It's Katana, that's her name. Yeah, Katana's her name. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's like a mystical element that they're just kind of throwing at us, whereas, you know, we've had all this time to really get to that point in the Marvel universe. You know, Doctor Strange is going to be, like, the real big step in that direction, and that's, you know, however many movies in. But, yeah, they're just kind of, like, going with it, and that's just part of the universe.
And I think that's going to be the big question. Marvel kind of built it up very slowly, basically kind of easing the audience in and everything, while DC's kind of trying to hit the ball running. You know, their approach is definitely different. And obviously a lot of that has to do with the fact that that they want to get their universe moving. They want to get, you know, to Justice League. They want to start getting that, you know, that big money. So it makes sense. But it's going to be very interesting to see that approach, to see how the audience, you know, how they're going to react to it. So, yeah.
Any final thoughts on this trailer before we move on?
Yeah, you know, it wasn't that amazing.
And I just wanted to, you know, next topic. You guys remember Cryptid Toys, the guys that are doing those Army Alphas, Army Builders, kind of like articulated icons? They're doing a Kickstarter pretty soon, but it's going to be like the SWAT guys and the military guys and a couple other things.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty bad, man.
You think so?
Huh?
Think so?
I mean, the biggest problem I have when you give me somebody military, the first thing I think about is a rifle. So, I mean, even SWAT, military, whatever soldiers, I always think about rifles, and they have no
I was just gonna get to
swivels.
I was just gonna get to that. They show the prototypes that, you know, like you mentioned, they only have a pin socket elbow with only one bend, and that's the prototypes they've shown. But they've also shown that all the soldier and SWAT figures are now going to have double jointed elbows and bicep swivels. They already have it, like, mapped out. They just don't have it on the prototype yet. So if you look on their Instagram, they show, like, the 3D rendering of the bicep cuts and the double jointed elbows. So, you know, they definitely heard that complaint, and Articulated Icons probably did a lot to sway opinion in that direction too, because, you know, we all would have complained if AI was doing the same thing with only the pin socket elbows. So that complaint has been addressed. They don't show it on the prototype, but like I said, they already have the 3D rendering of it, and they said that the prototypes, although they don't have those new arms, the final production figures will.
I don't know.
So yeah, go on their Instagram and check it out.
I'm to the point to where I like the way Articulated Icons did it. They pretty much, like, you know, they showed the diagram and everything, and then they went on to start showing the 3D rendering. Then they started pumping out the prototypes, and then pretty much was like, okay, now give us your money. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that's what I'm looking for with these companies or whatever. I'm not looking for lightweight promises, because Mattel pretty much, and that's a major company, they put a sour taste in my mouth with a lot of the bullshit that they've done with their pre-orders. Hey, look, we're going to make this. This is what it's going to be. Give us your money, only for you to get a subpar product or something that's shrunken down, or just they decide to cut shit at the last minute. And I'm just until I actually see an actual 3D figure, I keep my money.
Yeah, I'm looking at the SWAT figure from this picture that they have right here. It looks real nice, but yeah, I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned about the addition of that articulation after people, made comments and shit. I feel like they should have been going for that right off the bat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's like, especially if they taken a note from what AI did, what articulated icons did. But I'm still gonna support it. Like, I'm still in support of independent companies doing their things and filling gaps in our collection and shit like that. So that's still very valuable to the display community. That for sure.
It is.
Yeah, and just for everyone in the audience, it's called Cryptid Toys, and they're at Cryptid Toys with a Y on Instagram. So check out those prototypes.
CRYPTIDTOYS. C's and cat, R's and Robert, Y's and Yar, P's and Paul, T's and Tom, I's and Igloo, D's and dog.
I'm gonna put it in the chat right now, just so everyone can actually go on it.
But yes, it's important that that we give these companies a shot, no question about that. And they always since I've seen them on Instagram, they've always been supportive of ACBA. They tag ACBA, and obviously they are aware that we are a big part of the community and shit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we should definitely try to get in talks with them and see what they have to say, and maybe especially after we had the AI interview, that kind of alleviated all my fears and concerns about that particular line. So hopefully we can do the same thing.
Yeah, maybe we want to talk with them, get one of them on the show or something. That would be definitely a good look. I'm not even sure who's behind it. Do you know anybody? Is it anybody? For instance, obviously some of the AI guys were from the Foosh and Gentle Giant and what have you. Anybody that's behind this? Anybody that's known?
I don't know. I'm gonna look on their website right now and see what's up. But yeah, I don't know if these guys. Yeah, their website doesn't really have much. Like I said, if we talk to these guys, we can learn a little bit more about them. But I don't know. I really can't tell you, what background they have or whatever, what their pedigree is.
All right. All right. So yeah, whatever. If this is your first time hearing about it, then you could check out their Instagram and take it from there. Like Fabio said, they should be launching their Kickstarter soon, and they definitely did the right thing as far as waiting to articulated icons kind of got their plate full and did what they had to do and shit, and gave everybody a chance to recharge and get their money right again and shit. And honestly, them about to drop the Kickstarter now is actually a very good look for them, with this being tax season and all of that. So they're making the right move. That's for sure.
I mean,
I don't know how soon it's going to
for
be
you to have or whatever, especially being like you said, SWAT guys, or any of the basic figures that people are just not going to make. I mean, that makes for real good setups and everything. Like I said, I just don't want to buy a figure that's virtually useless besides just standing there.
Right. Yeah. I definitely want them to be able to be thrown around. SWAT guy, any army builder, they there to just get killed in your display.
Right, that's all it is.
Basically.
They're gonna get fucked up.
Basically, so you want them to be able to move all types of ways and be able to lay them out and get them in explosions, and you want to fuck them up. So that's what it is.
And to clarify, it's their last post says that their Kickstarter is next month. So they've got time to really hash out all these details and get all the feedback before they really put out the product. We'll keep updated on it. Follow them on Instagram and keep up with all their updates.
All right, so we just wrapped up the ACBA World Tournament this past week, and we got our top 5 of 2015. We crowned a new world champion. Big shout out to my man Jeremy Lee, who actually might be joining us at some point tonight to talk about his victory and what have you. I think we're going to have a couple of people pop in and join us. So I guess it's a little segue into that. But if you know nothing about this tournament, this is something that we've been doing for 5 consecutive years. ACBA World Tournament. It's a display tournament, a video-based tournament, and basically you have to put together displays under a particular theme for each round. There's 3 rounds, and and it's for a lot of cash and prizes. A lot of cash and prizes, especially for something like displaying. I mean, you actually making a pretty good, bringing home a pretty good purse for just playing with your toys and shit. If you finish in the top 5, and this is something that we've been doing, really trying to put competitive displaying on the map, and I think this year was our biggest year, definitely as far as the what we have for prizes and the turnout, and I feel like there was a lot of great displays. So Jeremy Lee was the overall winner. He is the 2015 champion. And then we had Punker Mike as the second place winner. And we had Shannon Bowie, who also actually won Photo Combat in 2015, in third place. And in fourth place, we had last year's champion, CJ, coming in fourth place. And in fifth place, we had Michael Wisman. So a very great group of guys right there, all people that really know how to display well and are excellent at their craft. And it was a very good year. I mean, even the people that didn't place in the top 5, the top 10, top 20, even people in the first round, it was a lot of great ideas, a lot of great displays in this competition, man. I was pretty happy with the turnout. Fabio, you want to say something? I mean, you competed in this year. You made it to the final round, so.
How did that happen?
Well, let me tell you something about assholes, brother. I got a bone to pick with Pharaoh Black over here because you, sir, destroyed my scores in this final round.
You know what? Pharaoh gave a lot of tough scores in the final round, man.
I know.
A lot of tough scores.
What was your display again?
The Terminator one. Terminator, Sarah Connor, The Reflection.
Your fucking display was clean as fuck, and I liked the idea a lot, but it wasn't enough, bro. It just wasn't enough.
No, I 100% knew that when I finished it because, like I said, a couple weeks ago, I left it for the last minute, and that was entirely my fault. I had a bunch of other shit going on. I really should have been working on it way before that. But that does not excuse the fact that Pharaoh Black over here is an absolute ass. And I am boycotting this man. I'm going to go off and start my own group. It's going to have blackjack and hookers and even scores for everybody. And I'm going to give it a sweet acronym.
No, man, listen. Mike Boogs, this is exactly what was going on. When your video came on, I started watching it. I was waiting for something to happen. But nothing ever happened. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if not saying what you had wasn't good, and I guess if I'd have seen it as a picture, I kind of would appreciate it a little more.
Right.
But watching the video or whatever, I mean, this is what it is. If you couldn't stop me from eating my snack, I wasn't fucking with you. I'm just saying.
It was a little anticlimactic, especially in comparison to things that you did and any other rounds and shit. Like Pharaoh said, I was waiting for something else to happen. And that was just pretty much it. What you had there was a great base and a great start and shit. If you had something else in there at the end to really throw us for a loop or some shit, then it would have been much better.
You was like that dude that come from the club. You be ready to smash the chick, but the liquor shit just killed you. So as you. You put 2 minutes in, you was like,
or you couldn't even get nothing in. You just fall asleep.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit I whiskey dicked on this last round for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But I like
that's entirely my fault. I'm not.
I like the way it looked. I like it was a very good idea. It was clean. It was very well executed what you had there, but it just fell a little short though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, compared to what fucking everybody else did in this round and just, took it to 11, I definitely fell short. And, yeah, I'm fucking around. It's not your guys' fault. It's definitely mine as far as, I should have planned for it better. I should have been able to allocate resources a little better. But that's all on me because I kind of left it for the last minute, and you know how photos and displays turn out in general when you just kind of leave them for the last minute, and I would say I like threw it together, but you know it definitely wasn't as much engineering and technicality in it as some of my other displays. Like my favorite display I did all tournament was definitely round 2 with the RoboCop vs. Terminator. I mean that was a lot of different things for me. I mean obviously there were some faults on that one.
I think your round 1 display was short and to the point, but still very, very good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I think what really put over that one was the custom music that I had a homie of mine compose. That was what really gave me the inspiration because he finished the song before I finished the display. So that's what really inspired me as far as the editing goes, and that's what really like put it over the top. Round 2.
I don't even listen to the videos with sound. I don't watch them with sound. When I see screen shaking and shit, I know what they're trying to do. That's pretty much how I watch it because, I mean, I really want you. It's all visual for me, man. I really don't give a fuck what music you playing in the back. Not you personally, I said period. Anybody. You know what I mean? I don't care about the damn music. I mean, if you need sound effects and shit, and like I've seen people shake the camera and everything, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. But I can't tell it like that, man.
I mean, the music is a big part of it, though. It sets the tone in a way and shit. But what videos did you really like in this round, Fabio?
In this round, you know, to be honest, I didn't watch all that many of them. I did like Henry's, Henry Beltran. I really liked CJ's. I liked my man Russell Fuller. You know, he did that like Marvel vs. Capcom. You know, it was like originally like the kids like playing video games, and then it like shifts over to like what they're playing. I thought that was clever.
That was very clever. It was very clever. I like that one too. That was clever.
Shout out to him for being, you know, number 6 in the world now because he deserves it, man. He puts in that work, and you could tell like the production value of that display was definitely
that was
up
a very, very clever display.
Michael Wisman's was good, obviously. Jeremy Lee's, I don't think I've seen it yet. I know he won, but I don't think I actually saw his display. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it was good because obviously.
Yeah, I mean it was very good. Obviously.
The ones I saw, I'd say my favorite was definitely Nintendo Ninja, Russell Fuller.
I'm really surprised that Mike Wang didn't place in the top 10. He had some very strong displays in the first 2 rounds, and I thought that his third round display was pretty good. I'm really surprised though, and I'm pretty sure that I haven't spoken to him, but I'm sure he's a little disappointed in that because he did really well.
Which one was his last video?
He had the it was a Star Wars display. Obviously, you know that's his niche, but it was how can I explain it? It was let me pull it up actually. He had Luke and Vader. Oh, it was the basketball one, right. Okay.
Who did the one display of Spider-Man being a bully to Carnage? I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, that was very funny. That was another Canadian actually. That was Mike Wang's partner in crime on their podcast. That was Billy Paleo, Flipnosis.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah,
I like that display a lot. It was mad funny. It was clever, but I didn't like the way the lockers looked a little bit. They looked, exactly like paper, and they were like kind of bent. And like if he would have did that a little better, it would have been a little better, got a better score with me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think I scored it terribly. But it was a very clever idea, though. I did like that a lot.
I think the biggest thing with me and judging the tournament is I look for a lot of things that just haven't been done or overly done. You know what I mean? Like I've seen enough of the basketball displays with I mean, not saying it was just Star Wars in general, but just, the Ninja Turtles playing basketball, Venom and Spider-Man playing basketball. I mean, I've seen enough of that shit. So when I see it naturally, I mean, it could be a good display. And I'm not going to knock it for being a good display, but when the creativity points come along, I kind of dock it. Like, it's not very creative.
Right. Yeah. Me too. Same thing. I'm the same way. If it's something I've seen before, especially from that particular person, then you're not going to score high with me in the creativity department. I saw a lot of interesting things, though, with how things were shot and how people kind of went with the cinematic feel of their videos, and like, you know, I saw some really cool things. I liked K Magnum 03, which is Kevin Magnon. I'm not even sure how to pronounce the last name, but he had the Goku display where Goku was sort of like the bad guy. If you don't know, the round 3 theme was like a role reversal. So people had heroes doing villainous shit and villains doing heroic shit, basically. So yeah, he had Goku. Just the way he shot this video, I thought it was really nice and cinematic. It looked cool and shit. So I just want to give him props because I did like the video.
Yeah, that's probably one thing I was struggling with, was also the theme as far as like how to really execute it. But ultimately, I justified it as like, I mean, like I said a while ago, not everybody realized that it wasn't a reflection. So I kind of like flipped that expectation on people. I don't know. It was kind of a. That's how I justify it, at least. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter now, but.
I think that where you I don't know. I mean, I was happy to see that it was certain people didn't use a Marvel character at all. Like, not one Marvel character. I was kind of like proud of people for that, because people tend to lean on superheroes. And that's one thing that was kind of refreshing about what you do. It's not a bunch of Marvel Legends or DC Universe or whatever the fuck it may be. But then at the same time, I think that your character selection pretty much was small, like boxed in. You know, RoboCop versus Terminator, and the hell is the chick's name? Sarah Connor. And I mean, you might have kind of alienated yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like your idea might have been dope, but you might have been able to do more if you'd have used more. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why I said that my round 2 was definitely my like favorite to do, because there was just, you know, more going on. And, you know, I've done RoboCop before and I've done Terminator before, but I've never really like put them together in that way, as well as like really basing it on the comic, which is a Frank Miller run, which is really freaking cool. So that took a lot of inspiration like directly from the comics, even though I was using like the Kenner figures. So you know, that was a little outside the box, even within, you know, my box. You know, I wanted to use NECA because, first of all, like you said, yeah, I mean, yeah, but everybody goes for, you know, Marvel and DC, like you said. So I feel like sticking to my NECA, I kind of like differentiate myself, even though I'm, you know, everybody knows me for doing NECA shit. Even somebody called me out on it when I did that Lich King photo. They're like, "Hey, is this a NECA figure?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, if it's Fabio, it's got to be a fucking NECA figure." You know, I'm comfortable with that.
It's a double-edged sword, in a sense. 'Cause like you said, everybody leans on Marvel and everything, but at the same time, where you bring the refresher point of not using Marvel, is pretty much you lean on NECA. So it's pretty much you actually did the same thing that they would have done, like others would have done, by leaning on Marvel Legends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would say, like, you know, within the pack, I do stand out for using NECA, but, you know, within myself, I'm not standing out because I'm not doing anything. I mean, it was a little outside of my comfort zone in a lot of ways, but yeah, NECA is definitely my comfort zone as far as, you know, they shoot more cinematically and they catch light a little better because of the way the paint is on them. There's a lot of, you know, different things about NECA that I like, aside from the character selections and stuff, but, you know, I could justify it for fucking weeks on end, you know. It's what it comes down to is I just I really didn't put the time in that I should have, especially on the last round where you're supposed to blow your goddamn wad and take it to 11. That's definitely two things I did not do in this round, and it ultimately cost me. And, you know, I'm fine with that. I accept, you know, the reality of it. But that does not excuse you, sir, from being a weakling. You don't know what the hell you're talking. You can't tell me how to pose my figures. What are you talking about, Pharaoh? What do you know?
I don't tell you to pose the figures.
I'm fucking.
Yeah, I know. I look at what you bring and be like. Plus, you gotta realize, like, Boog changed a lot of my scores for you.
Divine intervention. Thank you.
I had you at 0 in every category except for 1. You felt bad for you. He upped my shit.
No, it is what it is, man. I mean, it's a learning experience. This is my second time doing this tournament, so obviously next year is going to be a whole nother thing, and Photo Combat Annihilation is going to be a whole nother thing too.
It's not fucking easy to do.
I'm curious, Fabio. You say that at the end you didn't feel like you were putting in your most effort. When you say that, I'm just curious because I didn't complete this, but I'm a very competitive person, and I'm just trying to understand the motivation here better. Basically what I'm trying to ask is when you actually did it, did you know at the time that you didn't put all your heart into it, or was it after the fact when you lost is when you realized you didn't put all your heart into it?
No. Definitely, like, going into it, I had the idea, and there was a whole lot of other things that, you know, weren't working out when I was putting the display together. And as I was editing the video, I was like, you know, I could tell immediately, like, this is not to the caliber that even I did in previous rounds as far as, you know, the editing and the complexity of the display and the video, the music choice. You know, there was a lot of it that I definitely wasn't reaching maximum potential, even just compared to myself. So, you know, I came into this tournament in it to win it, you know, but when it comes down to crunch time and you're doing, you know, I did the best that I could with the time that I had at the time, but ultimately I should have allotted myself more time. I should have been working on it, you know, the week before, at least put it in a couple hours a night for the, you know, the first, you know, the last week of it. But I just had a whole lot of other shit going on as far as, like, you know, I was putting together the displays for Comic Bug and doing a bunch of other, what was I doing? I was putting together this trip with me and my girlfriend that I had to leave for, you know, the night after I submitted the display. So not only did I stay up all night the night before I went on this trip just to work on the display and edit it and everything, I had a bunch of, you know, packing and supplies and stuff to do, and it ended up being a way busier week for me than I had anticipated, and so I didn't get to put in all the time that I should have. And as I was doing it, I was like, you know, I just don't have the time to make this as fucking legit as I really wanted to, and there was a lot of other ideas that I was,
so,
you know,
basically,
bouncing around.
while you were doing it, you realized that you were cut for time, but also you tried to do the best that you could at the time.
Right, and
I see. Okay.
You know, I knew other people were putting in way more work to it than I was, especially with the time I had, and so at the first, I guess I didn't want to just not put anything out. Obviously, you know, that would have been very easy for me to just say, like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to win, so fuck it, I'm just not going to do anything. No, I still wanted to, you know, put out a showing. I wasn't going to no-show on it, but I allotted myself way more time for the other displays than I did for this one, and ultimately I suffered for it.
You actually, though, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I do commend you with that. At least you didn't just say, fuck it. I mean, I understand the people who just, for whatever reasons, cannot continue in the competition. I mean, shit happens. But, I mean, at least you didn't just, you put something out there. And you have to understand, too, it's not like you made it to the last round. So it's not like you didn't, you know, put a good effort in, man. So it's, I mean, don't get it twisted, man. You didn't win. I mean, so you're a loser for that. But, I mean, you did win in the sense of that you made it to the last round. You still put forth an effort, even though what were you doing? Scratching a monkey's ass or whatever the fuck you said you were doing. But you still, you know, you did your thing, man. You still came out and performed for everybody. So, I mean, if I could redo it over again, I wouldn't change shit, but
if I could redo it, I would definitely have allotted my time a lot better, because I don't know. I think the stress got to me as well. You know, it was my anniversary with my girl, like our first anniversary, and so there was this, an obligation, you know, but I definitely felt like I wanted to spend more time with her as we were doing this thing, and she understood for the most part too that, like, listen, I need this time for myself to put this display together, because I'm in crunch time here and I don't really have much to show for it because I've been spending so much other time, you know, doing other things. And, you know, she understood, but it was not easy to stay up the night before and even the night of doing the editing and everything, and then having to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning that 4 hours after I went to sleep, basically after I submitted the display, and I was even late too because I submitted it around midnight of California time, and it would have been Eastern time, so I should have submitted it around 9, but I was still editing, I was still doing a bunch of other stuff with it, and it got to me.
Man, you ain't gonna keep explaining. I mean, you lost. I mean, okay,
yeah, no,
you lost. Go ahead
I'm
on.
comfortable just having made it to the last round, though, man.
We're gonna move on to the next subject.
That's fine. I'm done talking about me. I just want to say, it's like, for everyone out there who wants to do this and who really wants to make an impressive showing, this is not, it's serious business. Playing with toys is serious business. So you really gotta allocate your time right and put in the effort, and it's not the time to be fucking around.
All right, I think we're about to try to get Punk and Mike in here, so you could talk about his.
Yeah, let's talk to some real winners, please.
Well, there we go. There he is, right on time.
Man, look at that fucking vest.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Sorry for lagging. I was kind of getting a little confused, getting all these pop-ups and whatnot.
It's all good, man. We're happy to have you on, man. So he's our 5th member right now. So yeah, we've been talking about the
4 hours
ACBA.
after I went to sleep, basically after I just turn down your volume, Mike.
Yeah, turn off your YouTube. If you got your another tab of YouTube open, then turn that off.
Cool.
But yeah, we've been talking about the ACBA World Tournament. Mike came in as 2nd place this year, so he obviously did very, very well. First time out in a tournament and coming in 2nd place, taking home a nice cash prize, a lot of prizes, the trophy. So
nice.
He's doing very well at the start of 2016. He'll have a nice little chunk of change to do some shopping and what have you. So yeah, we just wanted to ask you a couple of questions, Mike, about your victory. It wasn't, obviously you didn't come in first, but it's still obviously a victory and still pretty exciting.
It's crazy.
So so looking back at the tourney, what do you think was the most difficult part for you in all the years World Tournament, and I'm sorry, I'm reading Rick's questions here. And was there a specific round you felt was particularly harder than the others?
Probably the most difficult, probably time management. I tried every day to do at least a little bit, whether it be, watching last year's entries or just researching the characters that I'm building the display for, or, dio building, customizing. I try to dedicate at least a couple hours every day. But when it came down to actually filming and editing, it was probably time management. I ought to give myself a little more time. At the end, I think I could have got better scores on a couple other things that, I fell short on.
Who was the toughest judge?
What's that?
I said, who was the toughest judge for you?
Definitely Pharaoh, but
definitely Pharaoh.
Harder, man. Looking the breakdowns, and I was hoping see a little higher scores. At the end, I did get higher scores, so that was an accomplishment too. But I like having someone that's judging hard, because everybody judges different. So I mean that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's kind of the beauty of the averaging system, and definitely, obviously if you get all of the judges to agree on some shit, then it's obviously fucking hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's something to strive for. I could see how that could be motivation. And
then for wait, what was that? What was the other part of the question?
The second part was there a specific round you felt was particularly harder than the others?
I was gonna say first round, just because it was my first entry. I kind of wanted to make a big bang, but I'd probably say the 3rd round, just because I see who I was lined up against, all these people that are continuously putting good quality photos on the page and who have done good in previous tournaments. So I kind of felt obligated to do as much as I could and put as much work as I possibly could, and I guess it paid off.
It's funny how the tournament works, because it's like you almost get a clean slate every round. I mean, pretty much you fighting just to make it to the next round, to start fresh with a clean slate, and it's you got to come with heat again. It's like you really don't get. There's really no time off and shit. I mean, in the first round, I guess you could be a little lax if you wanted a better people. more than likely you're going to make it to round 2, but you're kind of getting a clean slate after every round. Second question was, now that it's all done, you have your place cemented in this year's tournament. What's the best advice that you can give to new starters or repeat members as to what they can do next year or for this year's upcoming Photo Combat tournament? And will you be participating in this year's Photo Combat tournament?
I'm definitely gonna participate in Photo Combat. I'm gonna try to do any event I possibly can, whether it be the Instagram, Photo Combat, anything. I'm gonna try to do everything. Any advice? I'd probably just say do your homework. Like just watch last year's, any entry from the previous World Tournaments, and kind of see who's getting high scores. And that's what I did too. Is when I seen that I got a low score on something, I kind of went back and seen who got high scores on that and try to judge. Kind of go off that and see what I can improve on, and then other than kind of just doing homework and seeing what works, pretty much is kind of focus on the fundamentals first. Focus on like posing and your display, and then kind of mess with everything else, like adding kind of like different bells and whistles, like props and different like kind of effects and everything.
So tell the viewers like your history in collecting and displaying, and how long you've been collecting. Just give everybody a little insight on you.
Yeah, so I've been collecting for a long time. I started off as a little kid, with like Ninja Turtle figures and whatnot, and wrestling figures. And I'm an only child, so when it came to my birthday, I always got a lot of figures. My mom was pretty smart when it came to birthday shopping, because that was back in the day when they had KB Toys. So, they'd have like the 3 for $10 and whatnot, or like back in the day at the end of the aisle at Target, they'd have, when the new stuff would come in, they'd have all the old stuff knocked down. So my mom would just, throughout the year, just scoop up a bunch of stuff. So when my birthday came, I had like a grip of stuff.
Yeah, not to mention they had the layaway on every damn store back then too. So
oh hell yeah, that was another thing.
Hold it down.
Before my mom married my stepdad, we didn't have too much money, but she always found a way to give me some cool shit.
How old are you, Mike? Real quick.
I'm 27. Wait, my girl's not here for me to ask. I always gotta ask her.
You're not old enough to start forgetting, motherfucker. You smoking those fucking cigarettes over there?
Dude, you just quit. You got nothing to look forward to. But yeah, and so then it sucks too about the old wrestling figures too, because I had a whole storage bin full of all those props before I was doing ACBA. Like every single, like they had like the back alley ones and everything. I had a whole tote. When I moved out of my parents' house when I was like 19, someone freaking went in my garage and jacked a bunch of shit. And now looking back, I could have used like all those props. I'd have more props than John Connor probably.
No. Whoa, but, breaks.
Yeah, that'd be difficult. Fucking John Connor is ridiculous, man. Shit. What city are you from?
I'm in California. I'm like just north of Los Angeles, like Santa Barbara, Ventura area.
Okay.
Oh, you're local to me, basically.
It's so many fucking Cali collectors. It's just, obviously California is a huge state, but it's so many fucking people in Cali. It's crazy, man. A lot of Cali heads and ACBA and collecting in general and shit.
I'm glad I ain't out there in California trying to collect against them motherfuckers.
Yeah, you got competition like a motherfucker in the stores. Like, definitely, Even with this
bluefin. I went to that bluefin district.
Yeah, how was that?
It was whack. It was horrible. If I'd known what it was, I would have never done it. So like,
tell people exactly what it is, though.
What's that?
Tell people exactly what it is. So it
was like the Bluefin Tamashi Nations, like the distributing factory. I think they're moving to a new location, so they were kind of doing like a warehouse sale. Probably. What's that?
What'd you say, Emiya?
They're moving to a new warehouse. They're moving to a larger warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And then.
What kind of stuff was there?
What's that?
What kind of stuff was for sale there?
They had a lot of most of it was Gundam and like Kamen Rider. A bunch of statues. I think when they first opened, they had like DBZ stuff. That's mainly what I was trying to find, or just like some older stuff. But the first people online got that shit. I got there like a little before 9. There was maybe like 100 people in front of me, and I was still there
on the first day.
What's that?
Were you there on the first day? Did you go on the first day?
Yeah, I went on Saturday. Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Because they opened at 9, and I was there, a little before, but it was still they only let 15 people in every 15 minutes, and people were fucking lagging in there. But
so that's how they did it. They only let 15 people in at a time, let them shop and do their thing, and then they
if I'd
go.
have known it was like that, because I was like halfway in, or I was like kind of like 3/4 of the way to the front, and the line was moving and then it was stopped, and I was like, I didn't know how they were really running it. If I would have known it was like that, I would have left like the first hour. But then once I got to the line, that's when the dude said that, and then I'm like, oh, I'm already here, might as well. Found a couple things, but the line was even longer to check out, and so my chick couldn't have it anymore, so she went to the dude in the front. She's like, look, we live a couple hours away. Been sitting in line for fucking all damn day. We're not dealing with this bullshit, dude. I want to leave now. And the dude's like, all right, just go. If you're paying cash, you can leave right now. And then
what was the price?
Got some random. I don't even remember what they're called. I just got them because they had props, like some locker props and basketballs. They're like these little like anime statues, and that wasn't even a good deal.
What was the prices like though? Generally for like the figures and stuff.
If you complained, if you complained a lot, they'd make it go down a lot.
Sounds like some New York shit. You gotta haggle.
Bike. I thought that would be pretty cheap because the box was like someone sat on it and they wanted like 45 for that, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I grabbed a whole box of stuff and all the shit was expensive, so I put most of it back. But my chick's like, you're not leaving. You gotta buy something. She's like, fuck no. It's about just like I said, the like statue with the lockers and the basketballs.
Was there a buy limit per person, or they pretty much just let everyone grab whatever they want?
You can grab whatever you want. There were some guys that were they had boxes and boxes, and they had stuff set aside for today. That was more stuff that a lot of people got. Like they had a bunch of Figure Arts Dragon Ball Z stuff, but there's a dude like bulldogging, making sure nobody got that stuff. But he turned his back, and a bunch of people ran over there and started grabbing shit. And
there you go.
I tried to do that, but then like they had a bunch of people that were bulldogging it, and then they like they wrapped it up like the pallet wrap. They wrapped all that shit up. But if you complained and stuff, and you threw a bitch fit and got like the manager, he would go over there and grab you one. But I was fucking over the whole thing.
Scalper City.
Yeah, I was saying that was just something.
What's that?
I said I seen a lot of people come from that shit and just got a bunch of shit. I mean, like instantly, went and paid $27 for a Dragon Ball Z figure right away. Give me $80, $100, and it's.
They go to the person last in line. They're like, "Hey, you want to buy this? 3 times the amount I just paid for it."
No time wasted. Word up. So yeah. What else did you get this week, Mike?
Well, on my way back, on my way home, there's probably like about 8 Targets and 2 Toys R Us's. I stopped at every single one. They didn't have shit. That was disappointing. So the whole trip, I didn't get nothing. We even went to Anime Jungle, and they didn't have anything I wanted. My chick got like this baby metal thing, like those like pops. That's the only thing we got home with.
I'm surprised you didn't find the Cap wave out there. Wait, did you get the Absorber Man wave already or no?
I actually this morning I got it. My local Walmart, just down the street. I got a breakfast burrito this morning. I was like, I'm gonna stop by it, and then they had probably about 4 of every character, and then they had the new Black Series out too. So I was like, fuck, dude.
All that's California. I can confirm that Hunker Mike is from California because you just said you got a breakfast burrito. You are officially the most Californian person on this show.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I just went to my Walmart. They don't have anything, but my Walmart's like the supermarket style Walmart. It's not like a Walmart. So I don't have anything figure-wise. Not even WWE, which you'd think.
You know what? That supermarket style Walmart. Speaking of that, you know what really like fucked Walmart up was like places like Family Dollar. That's really what that should compete with. Like there was Dollar Generals and shit, you would never have that. Like, cause what's the like Walmart with the green sign or whatever?
Right, that one.
Yeah, those suck ass.
I did just find the Cap Legends though at Toys R Us, so you might want to start checking up there, see if you can get those.
I actually work right next to a Toys R Us, so it's like literally across the street. So they usually get shipments on like Wednesdays and Saturdays, so I just go like on my break because I usually work in the morning. I usually just go on my break. But the one that's right next to, like I said, where my work, they usually they get shit in really late.
I'll give you the item number. I'll PM you the item number. You can use the item number. They should tell you if they got a man, or they can tell you who has them on a pending truck.
What's that one website though? Is it BrickSeek that just lets you search inventory from your computer?
Yeah, but that thing isn't accurate.
No, okay.
It's always a update lag. So I mean, it can tell you they have 8 of something in the store, but because of the update lag, you get there, someone's already bought it. But this right here is surefire. This is going to tell you for sure if they're in the store or if they're expecting to receive them. All right, dead silence.
Mike, anything else you want to shout out to the audience out there? Any final hints? You know, just anything.
I mean, I'm stoked for photo combat. That's gonna be pretty tight. I mean, I had a grip of fun during the tournament and everything. It's a big learning experience for me. Big confidence booster. But yeah, I can't wait for photo combat. That's gonna be fun, man. Seeing new people come out and seeing veterans bringing fire. And like I said in a couple of my videos on my YouTube channel, I'm just stoked to always see that in competition or even just on the page, people constantly like raising the bar and doing new stuff, and that usually gets me stoked when I see other people putting out badass shit. It kind of makes me want to step my game up. So I'm really stoked on that.
That's what it's all about.
To this year, figure wise.
What's that?
Anything you're looking forward to this year, figure wise? Anything that you're trying to?
Articulated icons for sure. That's something I'm huge into, and I can't wait to see how that line develops down the future. I hope they continue doing stuff. I hope we get like Shaolin monks and something maybe that's like Lone Wolf and Cub, Lady Snowblood. I'm a huge fan of like the old school like Kung Fu flicks and Shaw Brothers. So if that line keeps developing, I'm gonna buy everything. And yeah, I can't wait. I think I might buy a couple more things, even though they're a lot more expensive. Through the articulated icons.
Yeah, because they opened up the pre-orders again. For anybody who's watching that doesn't know, you can actually, if you weren't able to initially get in on a Kickstarter, then you can actually go and pre-order pretty much all of the figures except some of the, I think maybe like except 1 or 2 stretch goals or something like that. But yeah, we'll go on their Instagram and link through to their website and go ahead and make that happen. The pre-orders will be open for quite some time. So.
Except because I was not only with the ninjas I was army building, I was also army building the white suited gi guy, the guy with the long hair.
Oh yeah. Martial arts.
Generic guys and just like white gis. But other than that, just the figure arts Bruce Lee. I can't wait for that. Bruce Lee's my man. So I can't wait to. I've got like
types for that.
Did you order one?
I got one through Big Bad Toy Store, and then my local comic book shop guy had him order me too, just in case.
When are you expecting them to arrive?
I don't even know. The guy with in my comic book shop, he has like this little hole in the wall. He just randomly gets it. He won't even tell me. He's like, hey, I got something for you. And then Big Bad Toy Store, they haven't told me shit.
Yep. Well, I get mine tomorrow.
Damn. For sure.
Now, how deep did you go into articulated icons? If you don't mind sharing.
I got, I think, 4 of the white suited guys and the white gis. I got like 5 ninjas. I got a samurai. I think I got 2 samurais. So I probably spent like close to $300, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm looking forward for you to like let us know how those samurais are. I think I skipped on the samurais altogether.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I just got one. I just got one. I figured they're gonna do more of that down the line. They're gonna do more samurai kind of guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I got 2. Yeah, I think I said I got 2.
I got 2 of the Temple Guardians, like the silver samurai looking guys.
Oh, nice.
And then I got the one red Ronin samurai because he's gonna be the leader of my my red ninjas. And then I got the black gi guy, the evil sensei, I think his name was.
Oh yeah, I got one of him too.
Yeah, he looks sweet. He's gonna be like the leader of my black ninjas, and then I've got like the single rogue white ninja coming in too. That he's just a single white ninja, nothing else. He's my Storm Shadow.
Don't anybody listen and don't get caught out there because oftentimes you pass up on something and you say, I don't know where that can go in my collection or where I could use that in display, and then out of nowhere some character that looks like that or is that character comes out in the books or movie or some shit and you be caught out there, So try to anticipate that and definitely, even if you just want the figure for the parts, even if it's some parts that you want to use from some of those figures, like you should try to think ahead.
Yeah, I think everybody should have went ahead and grabbed some of the key essentials. Like I didn't go all in. I originally my original order was 2 all-in orders. My girl pretty much put a halt to that. I said I was sitting there, I left the screen up, man. I went to go grab something to drink or whatever, and she naturally knows you see if I'm talking to some chick or something, and she ended that. that wasn't gonna happen. But I did end up with I think 3 black, 3 red, 3 white, 1 deluxe black, 1 deluxe white. The guy in the black gi, the guy in the white gi, the monk guy, I ended up with at least 1 or 2 of everybody, 2 solitaires. So I mean,
No
I
samurai.
don't know. You said what?
No samurai.
No, man. I look at the samurai and they look like pretty much the guys in the gi, just with the samurai armor over them.
Well,
and I didn't want. I was really afraid that it was going to be one of those situations to where you get them and it clips around and they're going to be like the armor's going to be sliding down off the arm, and I was so scared of that. I just said, fuck it. She might have saved me some money.
Honestly, it's got to be some mechanism that's similar to that, something like that, because apparently all of that armor is supposed to be removable anyway. So you're supposed to be able to break down all of those armored figures anyway. So we'll see how the mechanics work. Hopefully it'll be a very good, unique design and shit that won't hinder the articulation or be falling off and shit. So.
Yeah, you have to stay away from Dallas James. Anybody part of ACBA knows Dallas, or Incurable Collector. Stay away from dude, because he got in my ear. I had already placed an order, and before you know it, I was adding more shit to my shit, like seriously. So I mean, yeah, stay away from dude. He'll have you ordering all types of shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's crazy. He's crazy with his own shit. I'm sure his order was nuts. I know his order was nuts, actually. So. He's crazy. He's got like fucking 30 Narutos and shit. Like, he's crazy when it comes to army building and stuff like that. So.
He told me Batman. He said, you gotta order ninjas for Batman. Batman gotta fight at least like 30 or 40 ninjas. I'm like, oh god. I was like, no, man.
He's not wrong.
Fuck that, man. You talking about 30 or 40 ninjas at fucking $30 a pop, or whatever the fuck they were costing, man.
A little over $30 each, right?
Yeah, I bought 30 ninjas just so I could have all their weapons stuck into the back of a Wolverine. No other reason.
I mean, like I said, my girl called me when she looked at the order, because I think what the all-in was, $550, and I had the 2 up. I was ready for it. I'm like, fuck it, because I was really geeked up about it, man. I was, I still am. I can't wait to get my order. I ordered arms and all type of shit, so I'm really happy about that. We'll see.
Fucking awful. So, Mike, who's some of the people that you look up to, display-wise? Who's, maybe you want to talk about some things that you saw on the page this past week that was hot, or just in general, just who are you a fan of?
Probably you and John Connor are the people that kind of got me into the group. Before, I've been figure collecting for a while. And I was into stop motions for a long time. I got a friend that's going to college for like film and everything, and so I do some stop motions with him and whatnot.
Did he help you out with your, with the basics for shooting your videos for the tournament?
What's that?
I said, did he help you out with like some of the basics for shooting your tournament entries?
Nah, because he's finishing up. He actually just graduated and just moved home today or yesterday, I think. So he's unpacking, but he had to wrap up his finals and do whatnot. But he has some good insight about just different camera stuff, because I got a decent camera that I'm just kind of learning as I go. I watch a lot of videos on how to use it and whatnot, and that's kind of why I started my YouTube channel, just try to learn more about it. But I started off, like I said, I was doing some stop motions and whatnot with the older camera, and I was trying to figure out how to make like backgrounds and just different dioramas, and I had some ghetto setup. I was getting red construction paper, and I was printing off brick patterns. I was doing like a grip of those.
I think pretty much everybody did that at one point.
And then you go to the store, and you can't just buy all red, so you got to buy like all the different colors, and it only comes with 5 red. I'm like, man, fuck this. And then I found that one video you got of unboxing that O-gun dio, and that did it for me. I didn't even know you could do stuff like that.
Right.
And I started building, and then I kind of was creeping in the shadows, watching the ACBA fan page, going through the albums, and found just a bunch of different YouTubers, like John Connor's channel. Every episode I watched, it's coming out with some random figure I've never even seen before, or buying some figure with some badass prop in it that I didn't even think about using that. And then I kind of just progressed, and then once Photo Combat came out, that's kind of when I wanted to finally get enough guts to actually join the group and whatnot. I was kind of doing my stuff on my own time, just setting up displays and checking out pictures and trying to use cutouts and stuff. But pretty much everybody that made it to the final round, I'm a fan of a lot of those dudes. Pictures. I'm checking out the page a couple times a day at least because there's always some good shit popping up.
No doubt. No doubt.
You kind of have a very similar story to how I started as far as just lurking at first. And yeah, I think there was that Ogun Dia that made me think like, damn, yeah, I need myself a brick wall or something to at least get started because that's basic. I need that.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how the community has grown in just the past year, 2 years. It's been tremendous exponential growth, and even the individual members as far as their skill set and abilities and shit. It's been crazy to watch. You know what I'm saying? So Mike, yo, man, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on, man.
Yo, plug your YouTube, plug your Instagram, all of that stuff.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out my YouTube, it's just Punker Mike, and then my Instagram is Punker_Mike. And thanks for having me on, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah,
and,
Mike.
I had fun during the tournament. Had fun hanging out with you guys right now. And like I said, we'll see you guys at Photo Combat.
All right, brother, man. Good talking.
If you ever come down here to LA, we're catching some breakfast burritos. If I come up, we're catching some breakfast burritos.
Yeah, y'all got to hook up since y'all in the same area. You, him, Wisman, a couple other.
It's sad too. When I was in that line, dude, I thought I saw Diego, but
he was there.
And I remember I recognized him later on from one of Todd's interview videos because I was like, man, that fool looks familiar. And I was like, oh man, I could have easily let that fool cut in line. That fool was all the way in the back, man. I felt bad after. I was like, oh man, that would have been cool.
Yeah, he was definitely over there.
But like I said, guys, take it easy.
All right. Peace. So yeah, I think we're gonna have somebody else on in a moment too. We could just keep talking though until Wisman pops out.
Well, I just opened up my cap and my Sharon Carter and my Cottonmouth, and yeah, they're pretty nice. I like them. My Cottonmouth's head is a little weird. It's kind of feels like it's on a spring. The head just wants to keep pulling itself back.
Yes, with that mold, some of the heads come like that. I don't know what it is.
This cap is pretty nice though. I'm really digging it. I mean, it's a decent size. Compared to Sharon Carter, I think they stand pretty well next to each other.
The cap mold is the Grim Reaper mold, right?
It is, yeah, and I didn't think it was going to be the best fit, but seeing it now, I really like it. Yeah.
You know why it's good? It's a good cap because the chest and shoulders and it's a good broad shouldered Captain America and shit.
Mm-hmm. But these straps, yeah, I'm not going to display them with these straps. I popped them out of the bubble and they just went flying off.
How do the straps? They just go around the shoulders? You just push them in?
Yeah, they kind of just rest there. I wouldn't say they really pop in or anything. They just kind of float there. And if you really move them at all, they want to just slide right off. I mean, I guess it holds on okay depending on how tight you have the arms in. If you push the armpits in, it kind of holds it like that. But if you want to have a natural not right at his side arms, then yeah, they're gonna come right off basically. But if he's just standing there, yeah, they'll be fine.
So while we wait for Wisman to show up, CJ is on a little vacation, so he wasn't going to pop in, but he sent in a couple of responses, so I'll just read off what he has here. In regards to the first question about looking back and what was the most difficult part of the tournament, and what round the contestant thought was the most difficult. He says it's quote, "It's hard to keep things interesting and fresh. I thought the first round was the hardest since I didn't have Halloween-related figures, and I had to make custom zombies." So Mike's first, CJ's first round, he had the zombie G.I. Joe figures, and if I'm not mistaken, I think CJ used 3/4-inch figures for every round, which is always very impressive. He did a really good job of making them look dynamic and just doing his thing with, has a very good cinematic eye with his videos and stuff. I thought his videos were very, very well done, obviously. I'm pretty sure that he was a little disappointed that he didn't place higher, but, he still did exceptionally well regardless. I mean, 4th place is still great. and he's still on the top 5 after being in the top 5 the previous year. But excuse me. And second question here, he says, my advice for next year is to practice using your video editing software and your camera equipment. Watch the older videos to see what the judges are looking for, and maybe have a checklist for every round to see if you missed anything. Like, do I have enough? Do I have enough props that fit the scene to make it believable? Do I have the appropriate cutouts? He says he's still unsure about photo combat, but most likely he will join. And he says we'll see. Definitely want to see him come out for photo combat. Photo combat is our obviously photo-based competition. It's 128 contestants in a NCAA bracket-style competition where you're facing off against, one particular competitor in each bracket, basically. So you pretty much got to defeat one particular person every round to make it to the final 2. It's pretty grueling. It's a lot of work, and photo combat this year we're gonna change up some things. The big thing about photo combat that was very, very engaging and great about last year was that we included a fan participation portion where the fans could vote on each matchup, and whoever won the matchup according to the fans would receive an extra point on top of the scores that they got from the judges. So that was very interesting last year. It brought out a lot of people to vote and participate and comment and share and like, and it was very, very successful. So this is why we're going to be doing it again this year. And just like the World Tournament, it's a lot of cash on the line, a lot of prizes. We had a lot of sponsors, so it should be really interesting. Anything else I want to talk about while we wait for Wisman? Wisman is like a black person, man. What the fuck is he doing over there?
I just saw, speaking of black people, I just saw Fruitvale Station for the first time. That was a really good movie. I don't know if you guys seen it, but
what movie?
Fruitvale Station.
The one with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I never watched that.
It's good.
I saw the Creed movie. I thought it was alright. It was better than I expected it to be.
Same director.
Yeah, it's the same director.
Creed was pretty good.
Like how Fruitvale Station was
better than I thought it would be, for sure.
I have high hopes for Black Panther.
The dude who's directing Creed is directing Black Panther, right? That's what you just said? Yeah, okay.
And I think Creed
was a really good setup for them to continue on like they did with Rocky.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I really like you said, I thought it was better than it was going to be. I mean, I think Michael B. Jordan's a pretty good actor, period. I mean, they fucked him over with that Fantastic Four script, but I mean, besides that, though, I mean, everything he's been in, he's been pretty good. I mean, that's just what it is. He's a charismatic young black dude, and I think, he got what it takes to stay in the game for a very long time. Like I said, I've been liking him since he was Wallace on The Wire. So
I've been liking him since Chronicle. I thought that was a really, really good sleeper hit of a flick. I liked it a lot. You didn't like it? I mean, they killed him off real quick.
He was good. He was the class president type dude, and how everybody liked him. He played that really good. But the movie Chronicle, not to even want to sit here and talk about the movie Chronicle, it just I can see what they were going for, but they kind of, I don't know, they left field it for me, man. I
thought Fruitvale Station is definitely a good one. I'm sorry, go ahead,
But then again, you liked fucking Pacific Rim, and I didn't like it. So
yeah, Pacific Rim is a popcorn flick. You can't, you can't really judge it too hard. It's just a, fun flick. You just watch. It's on cable. Fuck it, I'll sit down and watch robots beat the shit out of monsters.
Shit, man. I got Stars or whatever, and they played Guardians of the Galaxy.
I heard they was giving Stars for free this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, they play Guardians of the Galaxy so goddamn much, man. I think I must have watched that movie within 2 days.
You know what's funny? My mom's called me on, I guess, Friday, and she was like, "You seen?" She mispronounced the shit. She fucked it up. She said Lords of the Galaxy or something. And she's like, "It's on right now. Me and your father about to watch it." I'm like, "All right, do you?"
Like, what the hell? Hey, you know, my guy Mike, you know what I'm saying, his mom's, you know, she's old school as hell. And it was crazy because, you know, they went to go see Avengers. You know, he called me like, man, you know, moms, I'm with moms. Like, come on, man, come through the movie, I'll pay. Like, so I went through his shit, but peep this out. You know, the whole movie, she over there, hate his ass, hate him. And so when Hawkeye shoots the arrow and Loki catches it and it blows up, she's like, get his ass! You know, screaming. And people, and I'm like, oh. But I think people like that, it's fun to watch movie after you've seen it. I mean, after you've seen the movie, you know, you don't care about actually seeing it again or whatever. It's fun to watch movies with people like that, man, because they had a whole crowd going. They paying attention to people laughing and shit. Oh my gosh, sitting with her fist balled up like this, looking at the movie. I said,
"Oh, that's funny."
Comic book movies ain't for old people, man.
Not at all. But yeah, let me go over Shannon Bowie's responses too, because he's not going to be able to join us. He's in Australia, and we had a pretty rounded grouping as far as the top 10, the people that placed in the top 10 as far as the regions that they from. Obviously, this is the ACBA World Tournament, so you know it's pretty diverse as far as the regions everybody is from. Let me see if I could find everybody's.
Yeah, he couldn't join us because he's out there in Australia fighting off giant spiders with a stick.
Well, the time difference is crazy because he's actually it's Monday morning right now. He's at work, so you know he couldn't come on or whatever. But I like I said, I'll read his responses in a second. But Jeremy Lee is from the United States. Even though he has Asian roots, I guess we'll get to talk to Jeremy Lee. I don't want to fuck it up. You know, I don't want to be saying he's Chinese or Korean or some shit. He's Filipino. It's just like
he's Indonesian, if I'm not mistaken. But he's out in Texas, right?
Is he in Texas or California? I think you're right. I think it might be Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be in Texas. But yeah, Jeremy Lee is in the States. Punka Mike, who we just had on, is obviously in California. He said that. Shannon Bowie came in 3rd place. He's in Australia. CJ is up in Canada. He came in 4th place. Wisman came in 5th place. He's in the United States. Russell Fuller is another Australian coming in 6th place. Mike Wang, who I talked about a little while ago, you know, I expected him to place in the top 5. He still did well, still 7th in the world. He's up in Canada. He's boys with CJ. Dave Johnson, our boy, admin. He's in the United Kingdom. He came in 8th place. My man Tommy Saltz is in the United States. He came in 9th. And then we had Mervin, a.k.a. Major Awesome Toy Observatory. My man Merv is out in Singapore. So a pretty well-rounded group in the top 10. And again, shout out to my man Merv. He was out here a couple of years ago. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. He was out here a couple of years ago. He came to New York for the first time and shit to hang out. And at the time, I was working at a place up in Harlem. And I said, you know, Merv, you wanna meet me up in Harlem or whatever? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll meet you uptown or whatever. Like, all right. So so he got up. I ended up having to do some more shit at the job and was a little late to meet him or whatever. And this dude is like in the fucking hoodest block in Harlem in a fucking chicken spot, chilling, eating chicken by himself. Real Asian by himself and shit. But he was good. And I met him after.
He worships you, though.
Huh?
He worships you, though.
Mervin is my man, yo. I met him for Merv. So yeah, he was good. He was good. I went and picked him up and shit. And then we chilled at my crib. I showed him around the city for the couple of days we were here. And he don't drink or nothing like that, so I drank his share for both of us. And that was that. We had a good time and shit. But he was like on 145th and Lenox Avenue in the danger zone by himself, chilling.
Said it was nothing. It was nothing.
He was good. But yeah, man. So yeah, getting back to Shannon's responses, he said, and Shannon is Kid Grayskull on Instagram. It's Kid_Grayskull. Obviously, one of the best artists in the world, one of the best doing it. You should definitely follow my man Shan. He's doing his thing. But he said the most difficult part for me was creating my first video. I'd never made one before, and editing seemed overwhelming at first. I definitely struggled with my first round entry, but the editing on my final round was the hardest. I got lost in the hours and spent timing, lost in the hours I spent timing my clips to the beat. So yeah, he said obviously he said he was having a hard time trying to get his individual clips right at the point that he wanted them to be at with the music and shit. Obviously that was a big part of it. The production, the full-on production of it with the music and everything. Obviously some people did much better than others with that, but that kind of brings it all together, the music and everything. So, and then he said, for the second question, he said, get as creative as you can with your concepts. Rack your brain to come up with something you would maybe want to see in a comic, and not just something that should get you through the round. Says, I'll definitely be focusing on that aspect for next year World Championship Tournament. As Photo Combat, you can guarantee I will be defending my title. Photo Combat is a true test of endurance. It's nearly 2 months of rounds per week, so you're pretty drained for creativity by the end of it. My advice would be to study your opponent's work, eat all your vegetables, and sleep well. LOL. So yeah, definitely. I talked about that. Photo Combat is very grueling. And, and because of that, we want to increase the cash prize, even though the cash prize last year was still very good. We want to increase the cash prize for Photo Combat this year and throw in some real hefty money.
$10,000.
Nah, I don't know about no fucking $10,000. but maybe we could get it up to $1,000 for first place though, which would still be very good. But if we could get up to $1,000 for first place, that would be huge. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would be some very, very good incentive for people to join. And the thing about Photo Combat that was great is that it was so many tiers of winning. Like, you didn't have to win it all to win something nice. We gave away a lot of prizes throughout the entire event. So, you didn't have to win it all. If you got through the first round and you did something really good in the first round, you might have won something. Or if you got through the first round and the raffle for the first round, you might have won something. So it was, in every tier we were giving away 2 and 3 prizes. So it's a very good opportunity for you to test your might and for you to, possibly win some shit.
Your might.
Yeah. So what else? What else happened this week? What else we want to talk about while we wait for black ass Michael Wismer?
Shit, I don't know.
Mike
fucking us up, man, with his bullshit.
I know, man. Well, I told you I got that Mezco Batman, but they had Comic Bug also had the Dread. Now I was about to get it, but then I noticed it was the PX exclusive one, which is the one with the blue bodysuit. Wasn't digging it at all. So even though it comes with that sweet poncho too, it looks cool.
What comes with the poncho? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it comes with like this poncho with the Dread. What do you call it? His badge on it.
The Cursed Earth Dread.
Right. I wasn't digging it though, so I had them order for me the regular one, and I'm gonna pick it up when it comes in. But yeah, it looks nice, and this fucking Mezco Batman's got me hooked on these figures, and I'm late to the party on them. But damn, what a party!
Right. You late to the party.
Honestly, you didn't really miss shit yet. I mean, if you're gonna pass on the Dread, you just waiting for more characters from the Dark Knight Returns to come out. They supposed to be doing a Superman. I don't know if it's from that story. It's not from that story though, right?
I don't think so. I think it's a regular story.
They're doing Superman, just normal Superman. They're doing Flash, Space Ghost.
Oh, Space Ghost.
Fucking Spock.
Oh yeah, they just announced Sulu too, which is pretty cool.
Sulu.
I might get those for sure. I love Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never was a big Star Trek fan.
I mean, I had the Diamond Select like static leg ones that came out. They were like Toys R Us exclusive. There was a Spock and a Kirk, but I mean they were neat because even though they had static legs, you could like pop them at the waist and like change whatever legs you want to. Especially if you have like the big pack ones, like the one that comes with the Khan and the one that comes with the Spore with the Spock. Like those are pretty cool because they have like different sculpted legs that you could swap in and out of them. But I'm not digging static figures whatsoever. So I think it'll be cool to have these, especially because those suits that they have are so iconic and they're so like cheap looking in the show.
How'd you like the newer movies? You was feeling those?
Yeah, they were pretty good. I mean, Into Darkness was all right. It was kind of a rehash of Wrath of Khan, which is the best Star Trek movie. But I think the original did a really good job at reintroducing the characters for new generation, especially because even in the 1960s they were already in their 30s, 40s. So it's cool to have a younger cast and kind of see it from that perspective of them kind of growing into their roles.
Pretty fun.
At the same time, it didn't really capture the whole exploration feel of Star Trek. Their ship's always getting destroyed and they're always getting their captain captured or something. But it was really Into Darkness that captured that in the very beginning, where they're trying to save that planet from the exploding volcano.
Yeah, that was a good opening scene.
I wish the movie had been more like that, and I wish this third one will be a little more like that, even though it probably won't be. It looks like it's going to be, from the trailer, it's edited like a Fast and Furious movie, because it is the Fast and Furious director. But I just want them to capture that whole Star Trek feeling of going to these different planets and seeing that corner of civilization and how it developed and how it's vaguely human, but also really strange. When they go to that Nazi planet. That's what's hilarious in that whole series.
You're only going to see that happen if it's an ongoing series, though.
Yeah.
Too hard and fast with a movie, so.
But that's why I say that the opening of Into Darkness was really, really good, and I wish the movie had kind of kept on to that note, maybe saved Khan for Part 3. But, I mean, Part 3 might still be good. It's got Idris Elba as the bad guy, so, why not? And, the bad guys have been pretty solid. I liked Nero in the first one.
Well, speaking of Idris Elba, I just started watching that Luther show, the BBC Luther show. It's pretty good.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's you know what? It's interesting to see him doing his native accent and shit. For some reason, I keep feeling like that shit is fake, and that's his real accent.
Yeah, he's a rapper too. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, he's a DJ rapper in the UK.
Really?
Mhm.
I haven't heard him rap, but I know they call him Big Driz.
Big Driz, yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure he's done a couple raps. I don't listen to him, but.
Because he's black? You sure he did rap because he's black?
No, I'm pretty sure I've heard it, yo.
You know what it is? Celebrity DJs, man. They celebrity is gonna bring the crowd and shit. So that's another selling fact. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter what they fucking play if they actually even good or not. Somebody like Idris Elba, the lady's gonna come out to the club no matter what. So
Doesn't he make you want to dress like a fucking gentleman in that show? The way he always wears the same outfit, but he just fucking he kills that outfit. I don't know what it is. It's that coat.
Maybe having him looking a little fucked up and disheveled and shit.
Well,
I know, but he still rocks it.
Rough and shit.
Makes you want to get a pair of slacks and a tweed jacket instead of those sweatpants you're rocking, Boog.
Wants to be a disheveled black man.
I want to rip doors off their hinges when I get pissed off at my ex-wife. That's what I want to do.
Shit. We got any questions? We can start answering some questions.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
BD just sent me. He just texted me, man. He wanted to know.
BD? He chilling?
Yeah, he cool, man. He said that what he really wants to know is if we think that they'll ever release Shield agents on the mold that they use for the new Cap and the Grim Reaper. Do we think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't. I mean, they could do. Well, he said which mold?
The Captain America / Grim Reaper.
Oh, on that, I don't know if that's the best mold for Shield agents, though. I don't know if that's the best mold for Shield agents, but at this particular point, I'll take anything army building. Fuck it.
I'll take anything but that old Punisher face-off mold because I never liked the biceps on that. He's got that weird gap between the hinge and the bicep. I know biceps have that, but not so huge. I don't know. It's kind of off-putting. I see the Grim Reaper cap, and he's got it a little bit better.
That mold in general is a little outdated now. I think it's and it's got some points that might be unnecessary. But yeah, I don't. You know, I'll take it if that's what they want to give us and re-release them like that. Then fine. But if they could do it on maybe the
Bucky Cat
mold or maybe the Iron Fist mold or something like that, then we'll see.
I think we'll end up seeing Shield agents that look more movie oriented before we see comic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like that, like especially on the female Shield agents. I like how they have like all the texture to the suit and all the different parts to it. It's not just like paint decoed on. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something similar for the male bodies.
Yeah,
because I don't want them too muscular either, and I feel like using any of the existing molds would make them too muscular.
I mean, if it's comic, it doesn't matter because most of the males are muscular in comics anyway, unless they specifically try to make them non-muscular. Mm-hmm. But as far as the movie goes, I think what they got right was the fact that they eliminated the white from the uniform. I really didn't understand why they have white boots and and white straps.
That's definitely a very outdated design. I agree with you there.
So we got a question here from John Glebus in the Q&A. He says, so Punisher is going to be in Daredevil Season 2. Do you guys think Hasbro is going to release a new comic Punisher? And what body mold would be good for that? Or does he need his own mold?
Oh, there's no question we're going to get another Punisher. They just put out fucking Scourge. Nobody knows about fucking Scourge. Nobody cares about Scourge, but it's a tactical sort of like military style figure. There's no question they're going to release another Punisher.
You will care about that figure if you get it in your hands.
Oh no, don't. I'm saying the average.
No, I'm just saying. Period. Like
I want how do you do that?
You know what I'm saying? The average person passing through the toy aisle.
Right.
They might think he looks cool with the mask and the get up and shit like that. I want that figure. I want to actually put together like a fucking squad for him and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Right.
Well, look who decided to show up.
Coming in, making mad noise.
Oh, I'm on my phone and people blowing up.
Oh, shit, look at him. Oh, look at my little man. I'm proud of him. A little beard and everything.
Yo, we hear the audio on your phone, so let's get
Alright, hold on.
Damn, if
you have headphones or something that works. What a cacophony, my god. Yeah, he's getting some headphones.
That's how
he's doing that.
That's how your shit be sounding sometime, motherfucker.
Right. Hey, tell him, Boog, especially we like, well, I got this NECA figure.
Hey, I was polite today. I opened up my Cap Legends and I muted the sound. Let's chill out.
Oh, man.
Can you hear us, Mike? No, we got no audio coming from you. We'll just read your lips for the whole interview.
Put a cup and a string up to the computer.
Alright, can you guys hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way my phone works, if there's headphones plugged in, the microphone is like shut off. So, is there feedback right now?
Nah, right now you're pretty good.
Alright, I think
it's only if we talk.
Oh, well, start talking and then tell me if there's feedback.
It's not that there's feedback, it's that we hear characters playing our audio.
It's not really.
It sounds like.
I think it's Fabio, actually.
I've got headphones on, so it's not me.
You don't got YouTube open somewhere else.
Okay.
You don't have YouTube open somewhere else. You can't hear me.
I think we just feed him the question, and then we'll shut up when he answers.
Yeah, mute your audio, Mike.
All right. Well, now he can't talk, but can you hear us? Nod your head if you can hear us. Okay, cool. So let's just feed him the question, and then everyone else mute their audio while he answers, and that should take care of the problem.
All right. Go ahead, Fabio. I mean a pizza.
This guy. All right, one sec. Let me pull it up. All right, Michael Wisman. First of all, what's up, man? I haven't seen you since we hung out in Rancho Cucamonga. So, first question, looking back. Now that the tourney's over, what do you feel the most difficult part of the tournament was, and was there a specific round that you felt was more difficult than the others for any particular reason?
Yeah, for me, the hardest part was the time in relation to the dioramas and setups, because just a lot of times, because you can do something doesn't always mean that you have time to do something. And that's something I need to work on, and I think it's good for everyone to keep in mind is if you really want to do well in the tournament, you can't just enter and then shoot for it. You actually kind of have to like start preparing for it maybe a month or two before it even starts. That way, you know, once you get the themes, you can hit the ground running instead of just sitting there scratching your head like, oh my God, where do I start? And then the hardest theme for me was actually the third round theme, because I just kept going back to this idea with Punisher, but it didn't really fit the theme. And that's the good and bad about these themes. The open-ended is you can do so much more, but you have such a bigger range to fail, basically. You know, you can miss the whole point of a round and just fall flat because you're doing too much or you're going in the wrong direction. So just a little more prep and a little more concise ideas.
So basically, don't do what Colonel Crackers did and leave it for like the last 2 days, because Pharaoh will give you a 16 out of 40. All right, man. Well, moving on to the next question. First, are you going to be back for Photo Combat?
Definitely, because I got my ass kicked last Photo Combat, and that was totally just my fault because I waited till the last minute, and I thought I had such a good idea. I thought that could kind of prop up the picture, and it turned out everybody had that idea with Agent Venom and Carnage fighting, and so I just drowned. And but you know, I still supported it throughout the stages, and I was happy to see. I think Shannon Bowie won that, and I was real happy to see him win something. Sorry for the buzzing. It's all these Facebook things. But this, yeah, definitely I'm going to come back this time with, you know, the good.
All right. And now that the tournament's all said and done, you know, I mean, you're number 5 in the world right now. That's got to feel great. So what's the best advice that you can give to people, you know, new starters in the tournament, the ACBA tournament, or Photo Combat? What's, you know, the best advice that you can give them, people who are on the fence about participating?
I think every tournament comes with a different bag of advice. Like Craig Work did a really good video about what to do in terms of the World Tournament, but I would just like to offer general advice. Always be open to critiquing, because it's the only way that you're going to get better, period, whether that's critiquing from outside or critiquing yourself. And no matter what you do, you know, no matter how many tournaments you lose, as long as you learn something from it, you'll always come back. And that's how you reach the top. You know, you don't come out of nowhere and skyrocket to first place. You earn it every year. And something the World Tournament continually shows me is that even guys who were, you know, first place, second place, whatever, every year they end up somewhere totally different. And it's not because they're inherently worthy of first place. Like, nobody is first place material, second place material. It's, you know, how much work are you willing to put in, and how open are you to expanding your skill set? So I think everyone should just be as open as possible and be willing to put in the time and effort to do it, and don't think that just because you have, some new trick or some slick idea that it's gonna squeak you past the guys that are really, putting in everyday work. I'm number 5 in the world, and that's not because I'm the 5th best in the world. It's because 4 people put in more work than I did, and they earned it.
Yeah, that's sound advice. I could definitely use some of that advice, and just to throw in there, be willing to alienate your friends and family at least for a little bit while you're working on this stuff, because they'll understand, right? Especially if you have the justification, the validation after it's all said and done, where you're like, listen, I won, I'm in 5th place, it was all worth something. Now can we get this relationship back on track and whatnot? Now, so now just tell us, we all like to go over, recent hauls that we got. So what have you been picking up that's got you really hyped?
Oh man, you're a day short. It's all coming in tomorrow. But the new Venom from the Absorbing Man wave. Another premium Vegeta, because I had already gotten one. What was that last one? Oh, the Emperor's Wrath, Darth Vader, finally. And all of this was like hookups from everybody. Like Adrian Beltran found the Vader for me. Al Chang found the Venom. Poncho had helped me get premium Vegeta. So like, everything I have, I just owe to like my friendships in the community, because dude, I'd be so screwed. I'm literally in the desert. Like, it's nighttime, but I would go out and show you guys. It's like I'm in Tatooine, and sometimes it just feels like it, because there's nothing out here. But like, yeah, a lot of that is just from those guys. I actually have some stuff. Let's see if I can go mobile with this. I don't want to talk forever, because I know you guys are all biting your tongues while I'm talking my face off. But I did get these this weekend. Where is it? I just got some new head casts, basically, but I thought this one was really dope. It's a unmasked Deadpool, and you can't see it, but the sculpt, it has all like the lesions and boils and stuff in his head. And then I know Fernando doesn't like this, but I did get a Brienne head to make into a Phasma head. So basically just, stuff I'm always working on.
Yeah, you've been killing it on those customs. I've seen. I'm actually doing a Punisher custom that, I say I've been doing it, but it's kind of on the back burner. But I kind of based it on your recipe, which came out really nice. And your repaints and stuff recently have been really good. So I can't wait to see what you do with those head casts. Does anybody else on the panel have any questions for Michael before we let him go?
Naturally, I have a question.
You could actually hang out with us for Q&A.
I'm down with that.
Mr. Wisman, so now that you're done with the tournament and everything, am I going to get my fucking Punisher or what?
Man, you're trying to turn that into...
I gotta fuck with you, man. I ain't seen you in forever and a day, man.
I got messages after that podcast, and like, I think people thought that meant something else. Like, they didn't know that you literally meant, where's my Punishers? So I've been like low-key getting people like throwing that my way, like, oh yeah, whatever. Oh, by the way, where's my Punisher? I'm like,
right.
Like, I'm working on a Punisher for him. Like,
oh,
man. This right here. Let's see if I can turn this.
A lot of people don't know that we actually, fuck around outside just talking ACBA and shit,
Can you guys see this?
Yeah,
yeah, here's yours. Basically, it's almost done. I'm just going to do the skull last because, like we talked about, just, what we're going to do with that. Yeah, the lighting right here sucks for the phone, but, you can't even see that. I don't know. I'll send you pictures. It looks good.
I don't know. Yeah, I know what's up, man. Like I said, I just been fucking with you, man. I know you got me, even though it's been like, almost a year and a half.
Yeah, look at this shit. See, people out there in the world, this is what happens when your friends ask you for, hookups and stuff. And you're like, oh, yeah. And your fucking house looks like this shit.
Man,
What kind of paints do you use?
I gave you a 3-pack.
Yeah, but you didn't get that 3-pack full price.
I don't give a fuck if I got it for free. You still ended up with it.
True. Here, Fabio, this is a Deadpool head I finished that I really like. It'll focus. Probably not going to. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Instagram. It's real nice.
Yeah, it's the brain one. They're all magnetic, too. And then this one I liked a lot, the Stanley. Again, you can't even see it. Anyone that's curious that's watching this, like, who the fuck is this loser? Go check out my Instagram or whatever, and you'll see what people. I'm like
Loser is
I don't know.
It's a far-fetched thing to say. This guy's number 5 in the world.
I don't know the guy's name, but there's a guy for a while who, I think he's either blind or he claims he's blind, but he would take pictures of stuff and it'd just be like, you know, oh, I got this new figure. That dude right now, like, oh, hey, check this out, and you know, you can't see anything. But yeah, so I'm always working on stuff, as you can see. Actually, the reason I'm all so tired right now on my phone is I've been doing D&D a lot lately with some local people. So I've been dedicating Sundays to that. So I just did D&D all day, which is pretty draining. But I've been working on stuff for that too. It's all the same techniques. Like, you know, here's a good tip for people who want to do customs. Learn as much as you can about painting miniatures or models and just upscale that, because all of that, the washing, the dry brushing, highlighting, wet blending, all of it is the same exact materials and same exact methods. It's just upscaled to this figure. So like, you know, work on making little D&D models, but then you can start making, you know, Punishers and sewing capes and stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that. I actually... Oh, hang on, I'm getting feedback. Can you mute your mic real quick? The way I learned how to paint stuff is I actually sat in... I mean, it's honestly harder to paint miniatures in my opinion, but I used to work right next to a Games Workshop, so I'd pop in when it was slow or whatever, and I'd just see these guys who just spend their Saturday there just painting miniatures, and I would see, you know, they're doing their black washing and all that stuff like you said, and, you know, that's where I picked up all my paints too, and I was really sad to see that place close down because that was my #1 go-to for all the supplies, and now it's really hard to come by. But like I said, these guys would just sit there from opening to close and just paint miniatures, paint their armies, and then they'd spend like the last 4 hours of the day there just doing a miniature wargaming, which is crazy. And D&D, I mean, I've never played D&D. I played Pathfinder, and I think that's pretty fun, you know, just like from a role-playing standpoint. These tabletop RPGs are pretty fun. So that's kind of badass in a very nerdy way, but I say that as someone who played World of Warcraft for many years, and so I think nerdy shit is badass.
Oh, definitely. WoW for years. And how you're saying about the gaming, I've never played the table games so recently because there's a new local gaming shop where I live, and it's the first gaming shop we've had in like almost 10 years. And they have all that stuff. They have all the paints, everything. This place is huge. They bought out like the bottom of this building, and they've been totally on board with ACBA from day one. So like, I would go in there working on figures, and they'd be working on miniatures, and we would just talk to each other. And now I'm going in there working on miniatures, and they're buying figures from around town. And like right now, they have the ACBA calendars and flyers in the shop. And the owner, his name is David, but a place called Line Breakers. He's actually right now setting up classes and groups. So the class would be you pay and you go there, and he teaches you how to paint miniatures and how to make dioramas. And then the groups are for people who already do that. You can go in there, and as a group, you can work on stuff. Maybe like someone needs a mountain, so you all like work on the mountain for that person, I think is the idea. But it, you know, it rotates. And the diorama, again, is all the same stuff from Diostructure, just upscaled. And so the owner is like insane with it. His whole walls of everything is just lined with work he's done over like the past 20, 30 years. And now he is like gung-ho about doing this 6-inch scale stuff. And he has some figures. He's trying to get imports, but he has Play Arts Kai in there, and he's trying to do some Halo dioramas for those. And it's so cool because it's like the two worlds colliding, you know. Like, even though I played World of Warcraft and I'm trying out D&D, it never really intersected with superheroes and figures until now. And it's so tight because, like, I can go to, like, this big place and it's just, like, it's like Chuck E. Cheese for, like, nerd adults. And it's just so freaking cool. And I'm going to stop talking so you can get.
So yeah, let's revert back to the Q&A because we got a lot of questions coming in, and we'll all chime in if you want to answer some of these. But one that came in a little bit earlier was obviously we're getting an X-Men Legends wave, and we talked about this in the past. But with the Deadpool movie coming out, you think it'd be good to have, you know, some key characters from that, like a new Colossus, definitely a new Deadpool. What are other, like, X-Men characters you think could fit into an X-Men / Deadpool line?
I don't know if it would fit in, but I would love to see the Jim Lee Cyclops, of course. I mean, everyone says it, but it just occurred to me. I saw a custom made with this, and it's genius. The actually, I have it right here. This is another panel person's custom in the fucking works. This is like the perfect base because it's like the body's blue, and then these parts are all yellow, and this is yellow. Like, this is Cyclops. You just sculpt that, paint it. So Hasbro can do that no problem. So Jim Lee Cyclops, you know, they just do the head, put it on this Goliath body, similar colors, and done. I would like to see a new Deadpool, and I'd be interested to see what Hasbro does because they won't admit it, but they look at, like, Figure Realm to see what can they kit bash, you know, save money. And so many people have done the same Deadpools that I almost think they would steer away from those just because, you know, dime a dozen. So I would really be interested to see if Hasbro did do another Deadpool, what they would do with it. I'm really hoping they would do something new, like how they every so often come out with new bodies. But I would love to see that, and Colossus, of course, because all the old ones, they're really dated, and a lot of them get real loose now.
It's funny you mentioned the Jim Lee Cyclops. I just saw a guy on Instagram. I think his name is like XMLC10X. It's like some Xbox Live style name with X's at the end of it. But he did, yeah, Jim Lee Cyclops, but he used the Batroc legs and hands with the Blizzard body, and it's got like they're both like kind of a shiny yellow and blue, but it worked out pretty well. And I think he's probably one of the better Marvel Legends customizers I've seen on Instagram. I think where he really suffers is that his pictures that he takes of the customs are really like terrible, and so they don't really sell the figure. I mean, you know what you're looking at if you're a collector, but you know, some of these, it's funny when you see people who are really good at customizing. So you think they have an eye for what looks good, but they take like pretty terrible pictures of them that don't really do it justice. But what you said with that Goliath, that's definitely a much better recipe, and I have one of those, so. Maybe, yeah. I think Hasbro should definitely jump on that. Everyone's clamoring for a Jim Lee Cyclops.
It's happening, no question about it. You're gonna get Jim Lee Cyclops. You're gonna get Professor Xavier in the hover chair. We'll probably get Magneto in that more recent comics that he's more recent costume that he's wearing in the comics that looks similar to the AOA design, and we're gonna get a lot of those new age X-Men costumes. I guarantee that's going to happen.
Probably get a new Jubilee since they already have the head for it. They wouldn't really have to do much.
About that. They're not going to reboot. So? I don't know about that.
Okay. All right, next question. Let's see. Well, we mentioned the Mezco 112 figures that are coming out, but what are other figures that you think would fit into that line with the cloth clothes and stuff? Someone mentioned Wonder Woman, but I don't think that'll fit well with that line just because she has so much skin exposed. I mean, it would be good to see how they incorporate female characters to that line.
That'll be easier for them to work out. It won't be too much cloth to even mess with. You'll get a highly articulated figure at that point. You won't worry about the cloth getting snagged or messed up or doing dynamic poses and shit. They should do a Wonder Woman as long as the kneecaps and elbows are not like too exposed and don't look too stupid. Then it'd actually be a good look.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see their take on Spider-Man because I'd imagine it'd be kind of like the Hot Toys one where you have the body just basically in the suit. I think a Mezco Spider-Man would be really probably kind of weird, but like really cool. Like it'd be a figure most people would probably see and be like, but then once you have it, like Batman, where it just caught like fire. And also, I'd like to see them revisit the Hellboy stuff, but with the new, like the Dark Knight type stuff, like that quality, because a lot of the old Mezco stuff, is different time, different quality in the figures. But to see their new, the 1/12 scale collective Hellboy stuff would be insane. I mean, like so many people don't even get into Hellboy because of the market and stuff, and it's just so hard. But to have that, I think, would just totally reinvigorate that whole franchise, basically.
And just to go back to the Marvel Legends X-Men wave, we definitely need a new Gambit too. Someone just brought that up in the comments. And then we're probably going to get a Robin for that Mezco 112. We got to get that Robin to go with it.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a day late and dollar short. I hope they don't come out with it like 3 years down the line and shit. They need to strike while the iron's hot, man. They should have been, the Robin should have been in quick succession right after the Batman, honestly. But if they do it this year, then it'll still be pretty cool. And like I said somewhere else, people will backtrack and get Batman if they drop that Robin.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, we got Toy Fair coming up next month.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of shit.
Now, right? So, yeah, we're definitely going to see some stuff from Mezco. But is there anything you guys are, excited in particular to hear announced that either you think is going to be announced or is going to be announced?
Well, we're going to see a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a lot of stuff on display. So I'm not sure what I'm really excited to get announced that I don't already know that's coming, but we're definitely going to get to see a lot of these things. And A.C.B.A will be at Toy Fair. Myself will be there. Pancho, his girl Becca, and my girl Pep will be there reporting and interviewing and bringing it to the people back home and shit. So that should be pretty interesting. But
I want to see what they're going to do with Batman versus Superman.
As far as what company, though?
As far as Mezco.
That would be a good idea. I think those designs would work really well with the Mezco engineering. If I'm not mistaken, though, isn't Toy Fair just supposed to cover Q1 and Q2 of 2016, not the entire year? I could be wrong about that. There could just be certain companies.
There's no set thing for Toy Fair. They just, whatever the company wants to bring, the company will bring.
Okay, so yeah, it is like a company
There's no
basis.
set that they only show the first half of the year stuff. Literally, they could show you something, it could come out next year, literally, if they wanted to. But, I mean, there's no set time frame of the stuff that they show off.
Yeah,
okay, I'm thinking like
Randy be at Toy Fair too, lurking around, doing what he do, stealing shit from vendors and shit.
I hope they let you handle things like they did at last year's Toy Fair, or maybe it was New York Toy Fair actually, or New York Comic-Con, where you guys got to handle a few things in person. Well,
Toy Fair lets you do some stuff sometime too. That was it was Toy Fair that you saw some videos. Actually, it was me, Emiya, Charlemagne, some other people we had. Well, that's actually where we first showed the Mezco Batman, was at Toy Fair. And Charlemagne was kind of fucking around with it, and I was recording it or whatever. That's what actually sold me on the figure. When I got to actually mess around with it at Toy Fair, that sold me on the figure. But Toy Fair is a little more laid back in the sense that it's not, you're not going there to buy anything. Everything is about
an industry show.
Right. Everything's about connecting with the distributors and connecting with the people in interviews and just looking at shit. It's not a buying.
Well, actually, they don't actually prioritize press at Toy Fair. It's all just mostly, the primary reason for the show is mostly to get shops to carry your stuff.
Right. It's for professionals. It's for professionals, right.
Yeah, it's for people who basically have like shops that don't know what we want to carry. That's why it's not just our like collector stuff there. There's all kinds of toys there. Like any fucking thing you can think of, it's all there.
And when he says toys, we mean toys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all types of toys, different lines, trains, teddy bears,
pellet guns, anything you can think of. It's all there.
Guns.
All there. So, but I mean, sometimes these guys are nice and they do let us get interviews and stuff like that, even though technically that's not their priority. Us press guys or whatever, we're always there to look around and ask questions. They do have guys, but then again, there's a lot of meetings going on with companies and stuff like that, so sometimes the time is kind of tight. So.
Yeah, actually, sometimes you have to actually schedule a time to speak with certain people. So
you can't just show up. You can't just show up. You have to say I'm here to stay or whatever, and yeah.
I say this, but Fabio, I'm actually excited to see some of the NECA stuff from Heroes of the Storm line, and the Ash vs. Evil Dead. Those both look really cool, so I'm excited to see anything new from that, because it's just something new. And those figures actually have been really good lately. And then, of course, always Marvel Legends. I mean, at this point, you know what the figures are going to be like. It's just you're excited for who you're going to get.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I've said this before. I say it all the time. Marvel Legends are just an obligation. Like, I'm just going to get them no matter what. It's at that point where I just can't stop getting Legends. But with NECA, I mean, yeah, that Heroes of the Storm line has been a surprise hit. I mean, I've got right here in front of me, I got Tyrael, Lich King, and Illidan Stormrage, and they're fantastic figures. So I just saw that Patches at Toys R Us today, actually, but it's like a $46 set, so I don't know. I might have to wait on that a little bit, but it does look really nice. As far as like character selection, I don't know what else they could give us. They'd probably give us like a Diablo or something, like more in Heroes of the Storm style. I really don't know. I'd like them to give us some like human Warcraft characters, like Varian Rin or something like that. Definitely some orcs too. Be cool to see. What's his name? Thrall. Thrall would be really sweet. But speaking of Warcraft, I actually just saw the Jack Specific Warcraft movie figures like yesterday. They look terrible, just garbage. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that looks really nice. Ooh, he's got real chain, or mock real chain. That's badass.
What's the next question?
Let's see. Any new imports that we're looking forward to?
Well, Wonderfest is actually only 2 weeks away, which I'm actually going to be at. And that's going to be the big show for all the Japanese toys. We're going to see a lot of new stuff from all the companies there. Wonderfest happens only 2 times a year. It is the premier garage kit convention in Japan. It happens once in the winter and once in the summer. And yeah, we're going to see a lot of great stuff there. I'm actually going to be flying over to Japan for a few days just to attend the show and come back. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. What are your thoughts on using scaled doll houses for dials versus actually building them? Like, have you seen those Lori sets at Target and stuff? I think Sinestro repainted one of those to look really nice.
I think that somebody who's really skilled at painting and can really turn it into something tremendous is cool, but I would much rather see somebody build something on their own from scratch, personally.
It does kind of make you a more well-rounded display artist if you can.
Aaron Williams had repainted one of those dollhouse things too, and that shit came out phenomenal.
Yeah, big shout out to Aaron Williams, who's actually painting prototype samples for Toy Fair right now at NECA Studio.
Out there in the tri-state area this weekend, or was here this weekend. I don't know when he's going back, but yeah, he was over in New Jersey at NECA.
I think he's going to be there, for the next couple months up until Toy Fair.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's going to be out there for a while. I just saw Randy tweet out on the NECA Twitter that they're actually snowed in at the studio right now. So he and Stefan Fulkins, who's the guy that does their dioramas, are working hard on samples for Toy Fair right now.
So what you doing here, man? Go get your shovel and go get your boy out.
That's fucking amazing, though, man. Big shout out to AW, man. That's fucking tremendous. That's great. So they putting him up here for a couple of weeks, paying for his room and board and his meal.
Absolutely.
They got him like a little Chinaman over there.
He put out a picture on Plastic and Painter. He selfied himself in the NECA studio, and I told him to send me a picture of I thought it was unpainted prototype of the unmasked Peter Weller RoboCop, which they don't have the likeness rights to actually put out for retail release, but it's cool that it actually exists.
I know he must be stoked as fuck though to be doing that's like a dream come true for for somebody, you know, who's a lifelong collector and shit to actually get into the business, you know, doing love and shit. That's, you know, it's thousands and millions of people that go to work every day and they fucking hate their job and shit. You know what I'm saying? To really like actually be really invested in enjoying the work that you do is just a tremendous feeling, man. So much love to him, man. Next question.
Did you guys, any of you guys get that Jango Fett Black Series? Apparently, there's been some improvements on it.
Hey, you know what? I saw my boy E Rivera review that figure, and it's actually a really nice figure, man. It actually turned out much nicer than I expected. Still no double jointed elbows and shit like that, but it's a really nice figure, though.
Black Series won't get any more of my money.
Nah, me neither. I'm with you there. Except the original trilogy Stormtroopers, I'm gonna still build my army, but and if we get the Generals and Royal Guard and shit from the original trilogy, I'll get those in Black Series. But other than that, I'm not looking to do no more Black Series figures. Figure Arts is just crushing them right now, man.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I don't really collect Star Wars, but if I were, I'd definitely I'd shell out the extra cash to get those figure arts, because that Obi-Wan alone, I mean, that likeness is fantastic.
Fucking nice, man. He's so
good.
You collect movie Marvel Legends, and Figure Arts movie figures crush those too. So what makes us believe that you're gonna actually go and buy a fucking import Star Wars figure?
That's
Fabio?
if I collected Star Wars.
Fabio.
That's if I collect the Star Wars. I mean, I got 4 first order Stormtroopers here from Hasbro, but I really don't. I might sell them, to be honest. I don't really collect Star Wars. I'd rather have those Star Trek figures from Mezco.
Oh man, you just got on like 30,000 nerds hit list right now saying some shit like that.
I love Star Wars, man. I grew up with it, but I don't know. I don't really want to collect it. I don't know what it is.
What was that movie where these Star Wars dudes was doing something and they was like,
oh, fanboys.
Yeah, fanboys.
You don't have to say anything else. Where they go to that town in the Midwest with the big statue of Ricardo Montalban, and they get into a fight with all those Star Trek nerds.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Seth Rogen plays both a Star Trek nerd and a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, I was bugging. I was like, hey, both of these motherfuckers Seth Rogen? Yeah, that was crazy. What else we got down there?
Apparently there's a new Bandai model kit of Kylo Ren, and you guys see any of that?
Really? I didn't see that.
No thoughts on that?
It was up on if I'm not mistaken, they were showing it on Hobby Link Japan.
Yeah, it went up a little while ago.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks good. It looks good. Just like consistent with any other of the humanoid model kits they did for the 112 scale series. Yeah, I mean, aside if you want a cheaper alternative, you don't mind working a bit. You know, it's not a bad alternative to the SHF one, I suppose.
And Mike, are you gonna be swapping the robes on that SH Figure Arts with the Black Series one?
Yeah, well, I already did. So I was kind of showing over here this is the Figure Arts one, and I had done this robe swap actually the day I got him, and then just last night I took the hood off, and I'm trying to work on making the hood, the cloth hood, interchangeable, I guess, because it looks better than the Figure Arts hood. I think the hood is the weakest part of this figure. And to be honest with you, compared to like a lot of other Figure Arts, this Kylo Ren, like if you just looked at Figure Arts, I'd say is actually on the weaker side. But compared to the Black Series and stuff like that, it's just totally different. And I know a lot of people are still on the fence, because if you were to look at these on like a shelf or a counter, you just kind of glance, they almost look the same. But when I've been playing with that Black Series one since Force Friday. Like I came home and just hit the streets with that thing, man. And it's really hard to do a lot of really cool poses, which this one just nails, and that's what sold me on this. Because of, it's not exactly a butterfly joint. It's kind of that extended, joint that the Figure Arts have, and then this little piece is just kind of loose, and it fills the gap. But this dude can bring his arms together, and it's a big deal for lightsaber wielders, because like a lot of the forms, I don't know how heavy people are into Star Wars watching this, but a lot of the lightsaber forms require a lot of, kind of your shoulders, are closer together because your wrists and your arms are locked certain ways, and the Black Series just can't do that with those single jointed elbows. And that's my complaint about them. A lot of people say they don't like the single joint because it can't bend, whatever, and that's fine, but that's not really the issue because you can bend the arm and have him do stuff. It's when you want to get it's when you want to go to the next level and you can't, and you just hit the ceiling. And like I said, or like Pharaoh said, I mean, if you have the money to get the figure arts, don't waste your money on the Black Series because you could say, oh, it's only $20 and only $50. Or I'm sorry, it's only $20 and that one's $50. But if you didn't spend that $20, that's only $30 more you have to save to get the figure arts. Just bide your time. Get them when you can, pre-order, and I think it's totally worth it. And like this one did need the Black Series rope though. That's what really I think set this off.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that robe swap. I've been meaning to actually talk about that. I did the robe swap this past week too, and I didn't like it. I switched it back, and I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it because it definitely gave the figure a little more added range of motion, but for some reason to me, the Black Series robe on the Figure Arts figure kind of cheapened it to me. It didn't look as sleek and as good. Granted, the Figure Arts robe is obviously less pliable and it's not gonna move the same, but it just looks so sleek just having the regular stock version with Figure Arts. Now, if I get another Kylo Ren, then I may do 1-in-1, but I didn't like it. I want to keep my shit stock and keep it looking official. So I'm not following everybody with that. I think it cheapens the figure, honestly.
Made the figure look a little fat.
Well, yeah, I think he looks actually fatter with I have the other pieces here, the robe piece. This is all it is. You just take these pieces off, put this on. And it's a good point, though, and that's why I'm trying to make some of these interchangeable. Is that way you can just swap out whatever you want. If I want the cloth hood, and I think a lot of people have been. This happens with every mod. People just overthink it and talk it to death on the things, and I see people still like talking. Well, how do you swap the cloak? And everybody chimes in. Well, I did this. Well, that's cool, but I did this. I did this, and it's really so simple. And everybody's like, you're gonna break this, and I think this mod is so easy that you should just do yourself the favor of keeping the cloak from Black Series if you have him, and displaying him however you want. Because, look, you just take that off, you slide this off, pop the head off, slide it off the arms, you're done. You pop the things on. The Black Series, everybody, well, cut the thing, cut this, cut that. No, you just heat it up, take the head off. You don't even have to take the belt off. You just slide it off, and it's done. And a lot of people overthink things, and so they get these weird opinions. But I think that this is a really cool mod because it's so easy. And I like it with the robe. You don't. And what's cool is you can just not even a minute, and you can swap it out and have either or.
Yeah, it's not permanent.
All right, moving on.
Here's the Figure Arts, though, just so you can see. I just think it looks better as is, honestly. The big thing with people with the Figure Arts is the way the hood sits. It's not, it looks like it's kind of wind is blowing in there, something like that, and it's it's permanently like that. So that's one of the big things with people with this. But it is what it is. I like the figure as it is.
I like it too, man. I wouldn't change it.
How do you guys feel about celebrities that collect action figures, like Robert Downey Jr. and John Boyega from Star Wars, and here's another one that wasn't included, but Zack Ryder, WWE superstar, is a big NECA collector. He's always tweeting Randy about getting those new Rocky figures that are coming out.
Your man, what's her name, is a big collector too. Obviously, he uses a lot of figures and shit on his that show that he produces. What's his dude?
Oh, Seth Green?
Yeah, Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green. What's his face? Chris Hardwick, Nerdist podcast. He's a pretty big collector. I just saw that Nerdist put an article up today about some guy who did really like almost dead accurate repaints of Black Series figures like Daisy Ridley and Harrison Ford and stuff, and his repaints looked on point. I've seen a lot of repaints, but these are like quality repaints.
Yeah, but I mean, once you pay for a Black Series figure and then you put the money into investing in one of those head sculpts that he painted, you might as well buy a damn figure arts figure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for all of that. But back to the original question, it's great. It's great. I think it's great for collecting and shit. You know, more exposure for the companies, and you know, putting more people on to collecting is always a good thing for all collectors, because you know that'll obviously more people will buy, and we'll get more of the things that we want. You know.
That's one of my dreams, to have my own action figure, like a legit, like mass-produced company's action figure of myself. I don't know, that'd be something. Definitely something weird about it, like holding a little like version of myself. But like if I'm at that level, that'd be sweet.
You know, it's funny. I've always heard that a lot of times, like these actors get kind of like fucked over in the deals for like figures and shit. They don't be getting money out of that shit a lot of times.
Yeah, that's like they pay once for the likenesses and then they don't really get anything else from it, or they get paid rather for the likenesses. I know Chris Hemsworth has one of the 1/4 scale NECA Thors. Well, the only 1/4 scale NECA Thor.
Just to kind of quickly jump on with everything, Jason Mewes, Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, he's a big collector too. Not just his own figures, but I've seen he collects a lot of Marvel Legends.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
As for dude, yeah, he's weird, but he's cool. The guy, I think you're talking about the same one who's did the Black Series heads. He did the custom Kylo Ren head, the unmasked one. And I was able to snag one of the last ones. He only did 50, and I think I got 47. So I'm really stoked. In about a month, he said they'll be going out, those like realistic heads. And then, well, that took too long. I don't remember the last thing you were just talking about. What were you just saying, Boog, right before I jumped in?
Collecting and
Oh, that they get fucked over in the deals?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, whatever they call themselves now, Shocker Toys, GBJR Toys, whatever. They fucked over Rob Schraub and Sam Keith. Rob Schraub, creator of Scud, Sam Keith, creator of the Max, and both of them never directly confronted it per se, but they've been interviewed at conventions about figures and likenesses, and they're both kind of burned. Like, they don't even want to sign deals on more figures because, again, they lost money. They didn't even get their free samples, all kinds of stuff they were saying. And it sucks when, I'm not trying to single out the company, I'm just giving it as an example. It sucks when people that you kind of care about and their licenses that you care about gets burned that way, and then it kind of basically diminishes your chances of getting anything from that line ever, basically.
Hey, speaking of what Mike was just talking about, you know he's filing for bankruptcy again, and he just put out a post on his page, if I'm not mistaken, and you know it's funny because he refers to the company as someone else, like he's not Jeff Beckett. So it's really funny when he's like, "Oh yeah, the previous owner." It's like, you're the previous owner, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But he's just right now. You got people ask him at this moment, will they ever get their money back for the pre-orders for the Grendel and all the other shit that they paid for? And I'm just sorry if you're one of the people who pre-order these figures and you watch this podcast, you fucked. Like, seriously, I mean, you're not getting shit from dude, man.
Because not only did this happen once and twice, the shit happened thrice, if I'm not mistaken. It
happened three. Actually, I think it happened like 4 times because it happened mildly in between sometime, whatever. Because he was advertising big on the foods. Now, in his defense, Indie Spotlight Series 1 actually shipped out. People actually were getting their figures. If you bought the entire series, you were supposed to get the builder figure. No, the free Mr. Gone, if I'm not mistaken, which never happened. Then he produced Mr. Gone, and you know, however that went, but nothing after that first series was ever made.
It's been a couple of years in a row that he done took the money and fucking ran. I can remember in, I guess it was 2011 or 2012, I was at San Diego Comic Con, and they had some people there. I don't know if it was Beckett who I met, but at the time, this might have been the first or the second run. I don't know, but they.
What did he look like?
Huh?
What did he look like?
I feel like he was like a kind of chubby white guy or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever.
Beard?
Huh?
With a beard?
Yeah, with a beard.
You bet, Jeff.
That was Jeff then. All right, we was coming. He was staying at the Hilton Hotel. Me and Solid was staying at the Hilton Hotel. It was like mad celebrities and shit staying in that hotel, and we bumped into dude coming out of the hotel, and he got to talking about Shaka Toys and shit. And Solid was like he wanted to get a Scud or some shit. We was talking. He's like, yeah, come by the booth, whatever. And that was the first year that I could remember them being on the radar and shit. And I was semi-interested in getting a tick at that time. And then I heard, the shit happened and they lost the money or whatever the case may be. And then the shit happened again. And then it just happened again, I guess this past year or the year, I think it was this past year or whatever.
Right. And now it's happening again to people, man. So, I mean, it's when you see the figures, you want them. But, I mean, don't give that man any more of your money.
I mean, what is
like, seriously.
Like, what is he doing over there? Is he fucking going to Vegas with everybody's money?
Oh, man, first of all, he's selling you an idea of having a figure that I don't think he even has a license to make. I know for a fact that it was either last year or year before that he was actually promoting Death Note figures, and he had no rights to make Light. I think he was making Light, L, Ryuk, and somebody else, but he didn't have any rights to make any of this shit.
The Misa?
No, not Misa. It was somebody else that. What's his name? Ren? Is that her?
Rem.
Rem? I think it was Rem.
Okay.
But
I never heard of him.
He didn't have any rights to make any of this shit. He doesn't have a lot of rights to make a lot of shit. So
that's some real bullshit, man. I mean,
I was surprised I got my tick. Back when he first threw the tick up, that was supposed to be part of Wave 2, and I think he was supposed to be Bill Arthur or something. I was kind of, I ain't gonna lie. I said, okay. I seen he had some guy promoting it. He had like about 5 mucus ticks, and he had a tick. So I said, fuck it, let me order this figure. And I ordered it, and it actually came. I ended up getting my Scud.
Yeah, there's some people that got their shit though. Definitely, let's not like totally shit on him. There was some people that actually did get their figures. As a matter of fact, when I first met you, Pharaoh, that was one of the things that I remember seeing from you was that tick figure and a display actually. So this was obviously some time ago, but yeah, some people did get their shit.
I'm just saying, don't give him any more money. Like it's pretty much.
I got those figures, and I actually like the figures. Some of them have they break kind of easily, but it's not the quality; it's the engineering. They engineered the thigh swivel too thin. But I speak on some of the stuff like what he had licensing to or not, but he has definitely been caught up a lot of times basically lying. I'm actually banned from all his social media, all the company social media, because after the second time I called him out on it. I even put it in a video after he banned me. Nothing like, not attacking, but just letting people know, like, don't give him money. Then look, another Kickstarter. Well, Kickstarter shuts him down. Another Indiegogo. And then people say, well, where's this, where's that? Oh, well, he said the company, the factory in China is holding my tooling ransom.
Ransom, right.
Like, are you a businessman or are you in with some loan sharks? Like, what companies don't do that? Hasbro's never been. company in China, they went on a strike and they locked us out of the building and they have all the tooling. It doesn't happen. It's not how that works. You know, and it's always the same money. Oh, I need 10 grand for this. I need 20 grand for this.
Also, bear in mind that the important thing to remember is the fact that there are only technically like 4 or 5 factories in China. Everything gets made in those 4 or 5 factories. So
even better, because then it's like, okay, give us a name. Which factory did it? Because they're not doing that to anybody else. You know, even Datong gets their bootlegs out. You know, Datong tells you we're gonna make you a bootleg Frieza. A month later, you got a bootleg Frieza. They don't got 10, 20 grand, Kickstarters every week.
This is a poorly put together figure. I mean, it's just the body of a Shadowhawk, but I mean, I just didn't understand like just the way he put the way he put it together. I don't know. Then look at those elk boot feet. I don't know. I mean, it has articulation, but the real funny part is like this piece here looks like a pair of drawers or something. Like I don't know.
That's crazy.
He got these figures out, man. They're not the best figures. I mean, but he got them out. If you wanted a Shadowhawk figure that was highly articulated, this is probably about the best Shadowhawk figure you're going to get. One of these bodies.
If I put up money and I ran into that motherfucker, I'd be like, "Give me back my money."
Yeah, I don't understand how there's no fighting going on, man.
Fuck out of here. Don't let me run into you at the con and you stole $50 from me. I'm getting my $50.
I don't get that, man. But you know, it was a guy. I think it was SWF is what he called himself over on the Foosh. And he used to tear into Shocker ass, man, to the point. It was crazy because he had such a following when he talks about Shocker. Fuck banning him from the site. Fuck banning him from anywhere. You couldn't stop this dude's voice. And everywhere he go, he was just like a pain in the ass for Jeff Beckett. Like, so, you know.